Coming up on the next episode of the Celsius Pod.
That's his redemption arc. He stopped, so now it's just Wolf.
He died. His redemption arc was he died. Clearly, Beck didn't understand it because he didn't watch the first epised.
Like
And
telling his mom.
then he went, and then we go, and
then Niza's mom dies.
A little musical this time.
Did someone say Beck Lions?
No one said Beck Lions.
No one said Beck Lions.
I heard someone say Beck
Nobody said that.
The
I don't know
weather
why you said
is
that.
the weather's 42. It's actually getting a bit warmer here now. Finally.
That is how weather works. Typically, it does get colder before it starts to get warmer. It is 58 now, and where I am with Nicola.
You know, my friends told me that it was a warm day today, and it's still fucking 37 degrees.
Yeah, Beck,
bro.
that's warm here.
How am I supposed to survive?
Beck, you're the type of guy who can't do like a mile walk.
It's true.
I would like to have a competition where we all run the mile, and whoever runs it quicker gets $10. I think I win.
My
Beck,
best mile.
You are only
when
good
I
for
was-
short distances. Mile, you get cooked.
What were you
Okay,
guys'
then
mile
take the
time?
bet. I'll take it with
What was
any
your-
of you. $10
what was your best- what
if
was
you
your
beat
best
me in a
time
mile
in high
run.
school? What was your best mile time in high school? Everybody, go around, share around the
In high school, I was
like 5
slower,
minutes.
probably.
It was not 5 minutes. Or
Not 5 minutes.
I did a 5-minute one time.
this guy just lied.
The record on the board is above 5 minutes.
Then I'm
You did not
actually
I'm
broke the school
Usain
record.
Bolt. Did I not
You
tell
did
you
not
that?
do
Wait.
5 minutes.
Okay,
I mean,
it wasn't 5 minutes.
I've gotten.
It was like it was probably like 8.
I've gotten under 7
I was
in middle school, but I typically am like 8:50 at 9 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like 9 minutes also.
Yeah, I remember my fastest mile time when I was like actually working out at rowing was like a 7:11, 7:15.
Like the
Guys,
burger.
1 minute.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
any
it
of
was
you guys
long,
are if any of you guys are down to take it, $10 if you beat me.
What is it?
in a
What do I
mile
have
race.
to do?
Beat me in a mile race.
Give me like 6 months to train. And then
Wait,
sure.
back. When would this race happen?
Yeah.
Spring break.
Spring break. I have time.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, how much is it? $10.
$10.
Okay, and we can.
If you
and we
win, I
can-
give you $10. If you win, you give me $10.
And then no. Now I see what you're trying to do. If I win, you give me $10. If you lose, you give me $10.
No,
Well, back. How about I counter?
$10 will be given to the winner by the loser.
I like that idea.
Back,
all
can I
right, I'm
counter?
in.
Can I join in?
That
well,
means Uri gets to film.
It'll have to be on different days.
Why?
But, or we can just all do it at the same time.
Back,
yeah.
I would like
Yeah.
to counter. I would want. Can I take a who can survive after a brisk walk?
I won't forget though, because my previous time before I ran the 7 minute was like a 9 minutes and like 20 seconds. After that, I had my prep, so I literally did not go to PE for like a long time because I was doing rowing.
Yeah.
Then like I had to go back for the mile for some reason. I forgot why. I went back for the mile, and that was literally the fastest mile time, and even I was shocked. I was like, "How the hell did I do that?"
Yeah.
You're Usain
Turns
Bolt.
out, like working out actually like makes you physically better.
Who
I
knew?
think my,
Beck
I
does
think
not
my,
know that.
No, I think my time now
Just
would be.
dunking on Beck.
I'm gonna blow all of you away
You're
when
gonna
I
blow
fucking
me
run
away?
five
You're gonna
minutes
blow
out.
us?
I'm hitting that stairmaster for the next for the next year.
Beck, your ass must be tight as hell. It's like
I do think that I need to train though, because I think right now my time is probably closer to 10 minutes than it is to 7.
probably
This
mine's
is gonna make
11.
a fucking fire video. The Celsius Pod Olympics.
I
Yeah.
like how we're doing scheduling.
We are doing
but-
scheduling.
Guys, would anyone like to read my Honey I Shrunk the Kids review?
I would, because I showed it to my whole family.
You
Wait,
might have
okay.
guessed what state I was in when I wrote this.
Wait,
So,
let me pull it up.
let me tell you my story. I was at my sister's birthday dinner last night. Also, it was Uri's birthday yesterday. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Uri.
Thank you.
I was at my birthday dinner or my sister's birthday dinner bored because I get bored sometimes. So I looked at Letterboxd to see what was going on. And while we were sitting mid conversation, Letterboxd refreshed and I saw Uri's post immediately. Here's what he said. He said,
He said,
"Honey, I
deep
Shrunk
in
the
the
Kids."
woods, sometime in the 19th
No, that's my
century,
Gladiator 2
lived
review.
in a village.
Now,
For
Beck,
decades, the
I'm
villagers
not
lived
done
in
with my
harmony
story.
until
Beck,
Heidi moved in. Everyone hated Heidi. She was rude and a
Long
narcissistic
ago,
person
the
with
four
no
nations
regard
lived
for
in
anyone
harmony. That
else,
was until the fire.
emotions or well-being.
Back.
So-
Okay.
so-
Way to ruin a bit.
Yeah, way to ruin a
Wow.
bit. So what I was saying is that before I even read the review, I said, I'm glad Letterboxd exists and I can see what my friends are watching because I know Uri personally would not watch Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in a non-sober, in a sober state of mind. Before reading the review, I knew you were high. But then reading the review, it was, yeah, I drunk the kids on the Shrunk the Kids. I shrunk the kids on. I shrunk the kids, honey. I shrunk the kids, honey. I shrunk the kids.
Actually, just
Okay,
a pure
Uri, I'd
stretch.
like to
So,
run through a couple of your previous films.
so what does
So
this mean?
the monkey, don't watch this high while you're in a theater by yourself.
Guys, I had two
And then
great
you got
nights
Honey,
here.
I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, two
And then you
great
were also
nights.
high for that. And then also you watched Megapolis while high.
Yeah,
So it seems like you only watch films when you're high. And also you just have not watched any 2025 films.
The Monkey's a
really sad.
2025 film.
it is a 2025 film. He has a point, Beck. He has a point.
Actually,
Wow,
more
okay, well,
specifically,
he
Rick
still
Nick-
owes the winner $11 extra now.
But okay, Aiden, you asked what was in my mind when I wrote that.
Yeah, what happened there?
A lot of weed.
I was
No
like,
way.
I was like trying to write, like I was doing like I pressed the voice thing, and I was like trying to say
Oh.
something.
Oh, God.
I was trying to say something, but I just kept saying, "Honey, I
Right.
shrunk the kids. Honey, I shrunk the kids. I drunk the kids. I shrunk on." So
Okay,
Read
I
it one
see.
more time. Read it one more time, Ari, in your voice.
In your voice, Uri. Read exactly what you wrote in your voice.
okay, yeah, I drunk the kids on the I shrunk the kids. I shrunk the kids on, honey. I shrunk the kids, honey. I shrunk the kids, honey. I shrunk the kids.
Guys, I think he shrunk the kids. Just a
What-
thought.
What did your family think?
They thought you were high. They thought you were high. Quite
That's
frankly,
crazy.
if you believe it, if you can
That's why I have to
believe
wait
it.
till you come down from the high to write the review.
Yeah. But
Oh, you
guys, I don't know if
watch movies high?
I don't know if Honey I Shrunk the Kids. I know Honey I Shrunk the Kids. But speaking of Honey I Shrunk the Kids, I have seen it before and I do like the movie.
It's a very good movie. Ricky Moranis, very good
Yeah.
actor, very funny man.
It's a pretty like
or
good,
woman.
solid, like I think it's the first of like the shrinking kind of technology types of movies. Which there's not a lot of shrinking movies in movie history, but there's like a few like
Man,
big ones. Like there's
Honey, I
like
Shrunk
there's
Kids.
Downsizing with Matt Damon.
was
That's like a
Ant-Man.
recent one.
Yeah.
There's the Ant Bully.
there's,
Okay,
Ant-
don't fucking bring up Ant Bully, bro.
There's
Don't
Hey,
bring
you said
that-
shrinking movie.
I would say
Don't bring
shrinking.
up fucking
Hey.
Ant Bully, bro.
I say shrinking
This
can also
guy.
encounter not just like people turning small, but also just small things in general. Like Toy Story's pretty like kind of a shrinking movie because they're on the small level, and A Bug's Life
Sure.
they're in like the smaller level. So like I think shrinking has always been a pretty fascinating topic for me. I've always endured because obviously then there's like I think the best example of this is Solar Opposites with the
Yeah.
shrinking storyline. But
Well, I
this-
mean that's where it's all based on Honey I Shrunk the Kids,
Yeah.
though.
yeah, and there's also Honey I Shrunk Us. I think that's like the sequel.
There's Honey I Shrunk Ourselves. Is
Yeah.
what the next.
And I saw that
Okay.
too, and so there was actually a rewatch, Honey I Shrunk the Kids, and it's pretty good because like they make it seem like they give like a whole landscape, and for like the 80s, they can't really focus that much on CGI, so they have to be like sets and practical for most of it.
Yeah, no, it looks really good for what it is and for when it
Yeah.
was.
like on they don't need an update, but it would be really interesting to see sort of an updated version of Honey I Shrunk the Kids with like maybe like more enhanced CGI. But other ways they get away with it with just perspective and sets for the most part. There's obviously some green screen, but yeah.
I love
I
forced
think we need a
perspective.
modern I Shrunk the Kids, but like the characters are influencers. I feel like that would like make it appeal to modern generation.
I think
What
you're
if-
right there.
What if you guys made that movie?
But
Have I
honestly,
thought about
Beck,
that?
you make such a good point. Like all like modern renditions, like always the sequel type of thing is to have like the like 30-year later sequel. The kid is like an influencer or something like that.
I
Like
fucking
Because what else
I
do
get
kids do?
so pissed anytime we feel like, guys, we need to appeal to the newer generation. Let's make them an influencer.
Make him a
what else do
YouTuber,
kids?
man.
What else
Make
do
him
kids
Thanos
do?
the streamer.
yeah, guys,
No,
mom,
Thanos the rapper.
I can't go to your haunted house where dad died 30 years ago because I have to do my Twitch stream.
Oh,
I have to do my
no, it's
TikTok
not called
dancing.
Twitch. I need to get my hits on Flintstagram.
On Zibbly Zoobly.
On
You're not-
Zibbly Zoobly. My hits on Zibbly Zoobly.
You're not on Zoobies? You're
Mom,
not, you
I
haven't-
have 1 trillion followers.
I have 1 million goobers on my Zuby account.
Mom, I
man.
have to get 20 crescendo hits on my
I like crescendo hits. That's really good. Big fan of crescendo hits. I have a lot of crescendo hits.
Yeah.
All right.
They called
well,
the Celsius Pod the most crescendo hit of all time.
exactly,
Yeah.
guys.
So this natural form of dialogue has truly
yeah, no,
moved
it
on
just
from
like
what we've
it
been
just
watching.
they it just so like they because like I think most like legacy sequels are not very good. I'm gonna say
There's like a
like a few
handful
good
of
like
good ones. Yeah.
Beetlejuice is a pretty good one.
Yeah, I mean it's
Wait,
it
you know
doesn't-
Beetlejuice was a sequel?
All right, so Beck, I'm gonna throw you
Bro,
off
Beck,
the bridge.
And we're so
I'm gonna piss
still haven't
over
watched-
the bridge.
juice, and even I'm mad at you.
True.
But this is actually a really good transition to what I want to talk about right now. You know
Ooh,
what's
do
a
like
legacy
something.
sequel? Cobra Kai.
Oh, did you
Oh my
finish
God.
it? Did it
I
come out?
begged Uri. I sent Uri and I'm
Remember-
like, I'm so
remember,
excited to hear
The
how
show,
you talk
the
about
show went in the all of the tiers.
Yeah.
So I am so excited for this review.
It
Okay.
did go in all the tears.
So,
I
guys,
forgot.
They in probably one of the worst final schedules for a final season of a TV show ever. They finally released their last 5 episodes. They did 5 episodes of last season, like I don't know, 2-month break, 5 episodes, another 2-month break, final 5, because people want to watch Cobra Kai in 3 parts.
this. Yeah,
Which
I
is-
mean,
That's
Uri-
what they did. That's
you know what they
that's
say,
they did for
6
JoJo
seasons
Part
in a
6.
movie.
That's
Yeah.
what they did for JoJo Part 6, and it clearly worked for them.
Yeah, and so it was just a
It did.
terrible, terrible schedule because like
sarcasm.
you forget so much about what happens in between. Like I'd rather have a final season just be week by week by week until the show ends, or
Yeah,
like
but-
release it at once if it's a Netflix show. But no, they really want to prolong. What happens to Johnny Lawrence?
What does happen to Johnny
Well,
Lawrence?
let's
does
see
happen
what
to
happens to
Johnny
Johnny.
Lawrence?
So guys, last we left off, a kid died at the fucking karate tournament.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Mr.
anytime you
Miyagi.
say that, I'm just
Miyagi.
like, it's
Miyagi.
impossible to keep a straight face. The kid died
Guys,
from karate.
guys, would you be shocked to find out there's 5 deaths this season? Not just the kid.
Yeah, I
So
would not be
other than the
surprised,
kid, there's
honestly.
4 people that die this season. At least, well, there's one that might. Yeah, no, there's 4. And so everyone goes back to the valley because like the Sakai Takai's over and like Robbie and Miguel and Sam and Tori, they're all really sad that they can't compete because they wanted to compete.
But the kid died, so
The
they
show
can't
must
compete.
go on. I don't care if a kid died.
And they
We
made
need
it
to
seem
do
like just
karate.
like it made
It's
it.
very
They make it seem like
important.
it's just like oh there's some bad weather, like oh I heard about what happened at the tournament. Not like a fucking kid died.
It doesn't matter. They don't care about him. They don't care about him. He doesn't matter.
He's
He
just
doesn't
a side
matter.
He's
character.
not part of the main cast. He's not important.
And then
Exactly.
Terry Silver just comes back again because this fucking guy can't stop coming back.
Okay, so
Sorry, can't stop coming.
Gary Silver, in season 5, didn't he go to jail How did they get rid of Terry Silver last time?
I know
Because he's back again.
Because like his lawyer did something because like the guy wasn't reliable, which I guess makes sense. Because like he blamed Johnny, but then he switched it to Terry Silver, and then John escaped prison, but it was fine because like he wasn't arrested. But I mean, you still escaped prison, so you're a fugitive. But then he escaped overseas, and then he eventually comes back to the valley. No alarms are rang because he
Of course
came
not.
back.
No, he's a
Guys.
fugitive. He has to be fine now because time has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so guys,
It's statute of limitations, right?
That's not
Yeah.
how it works.
and so
though.
Terry's all
Quite
like,
frankly,
and so
When
T-
has it never worked?
and so
that way?
Terry's team is not the Cobra Kai people, and not like the people John. So we have the 3 karate teams. We have Miyagi-Do / Johnny Lawrence team. We have the Cobra Kai with the Asian lady and like the old guy from like China. And then we have the Iron Dragons, which is Terry Silver's team. And they're like the baddest of the bunch, And Terry's all like, let's resume the Sakai Takai.
despite the kid that died, we should keep going.
Yeah, and then he
You
goes.
should do it in honor of the kid. It's what he would have wanted.
Yeah,
That's not what he wanted. I would not have wanted that.
I
If I
think
died
that's
at a karate
exactly what he
tournament,
wanted.
I
If
would
I
not.
die,
wrong.
do a karate tournament in my name. Write
And
that down. Right.
That's honestly
Write
what he
that down. Okay,
pitches.
yeah.
He goes
Put that in
to
the-
he goes
Put that in
to
the fundamental testament of the Celsius podcast.
he goes to Daniel
core
and Johnny.
principle.
He goes to Daniel and Johnny's like, just let's do this tournament again. We could have it in the valley. And like he's like, please do this. And they're like, and he's like, guys, listen, I'm fucking dying of cancer. And this is the only thing I have left. I just need this win. And it
What
comes
if
off,
he died of karate tournament though instead?
he doesn't die of karate tournament, he dies of yacht fire.
That
No,
makes sense,
okay,
though.
Nicola, it's literally 1-for-1 the ending of Korra season 1. 1-for-1. I've seen the scene.
but I'll get to it.
But you want to know what's really funny, Back Lions?
What?
I've never actually watched Korra.
That's fucked up.
This is insane.
I wanted to make the Avatar reference so bad. You're the only one who would get it.
And
Bro
so
has been
and so we have like he's gonna win and he's
It's
gonna
out of
win.
pure principle as well. I literally have not watched Korra simply because I just hate Korra.
ah.
That's
So,
the
You've
only
never
reason I have to
seen
watch
Korra
it.
So how
and
does
you hate
this work?
Korra. This guy just hates women. This guy hates
Yeah.
women.
Yeah, I
And-
do.
And so and then he's all like, and so he's like, I'm dying, and so this is the only thing. This win is the only thing I have left. I have like no more money after this. This is the only thing, and he's like, so they agree to it, and like they're in the valley, and like the Russian guy who like hosted the Sakai Takai in like Barcelona, he comes to the valley and he agrees to do this, and then like he's working out like all like the stuff with the other valley people, and they're like, you don't know how we do sports here in the valley. And he's like, we fight this the old way. And then he fights like one of the valley sports people, and they're like, so I'm taking control,
Yeah,
I don't know.
The referees fought for who could referee the Valley tourney.
Yeah.
Of
Or
course,
just
why
like
wouldn't they?
be in control of the event. But then Tori, she like feels bad for turning evil in Cobra Kai, and she's sad about that, but she feels bad. And then back in like, I don't know, I think it was somewhere, I think wherever China or like Hong Kong, one of those places. So John Kreese goes back with the Asian lady who's like the granddaughter of the old
okay. Yeah,
guy.
sorry.
Why are you both leaving?
because we all don't. Actually, yeah, I'm leaving too. Just keep going, Gary. We're all listening. We're all listening.
And so he's the Asian lady, and they're like, they finally give John Kreese a redemption arc. And okay, what do I do here?
Keep going. We're so close.
They give John Kreese like, I need faces here. Come on. Oh, there once was a guy who went to a doctor, and he said to the doctor, doctor,
Got
I'm
any
feeling so
grapes?
sad. And the doctor was like, oh, you should go see this great clown. His name is Pagliacci. He'll brighten your spirits right up. But he said, but doc, I am Pagliacci.
Cricket chirping noise.
Like, get back on fucking camera.
No, I'm in the other room. Keep going, Uri. Can't just have the podcast be blank.
This is
Beck hopped on Balatro while he was walking back to his dorm. That's so funny. Oh, look who showed back up.
Okay, so I legitimately got kicked out this time. So for somehow someone else booked the study room.
And you
That
didn't
has,
book
like,
the study
Beck,
room.
why aren't you
No,
booking
because
the rooms?
No one has. No, because technically the study room was supposed to close at 10 p.m. So like, it doesn't make sense for someone else to have booked it. You're not allowed to.
Like, you're not
Yes, you
allowed to
are.
be in there.
Yeah. So like, it's like you can't kick out like the person that's
You can't stop
you
me from doing the
stolen what I
wrong thing. I'm already
rightfully
doing.
stole.
You can't do the wrong thing. I'm already doing the wrong thing.
Yes, literally. You get it, Uri. So are we just cutting that?
No, we're gonna keep it in.
It's part of the podcast.
keep
It's
this
very
in.
vital. It's very vital to the podcast.
Okay, wait, is my audio good?
Yeah, I vamped so hard, guys.
What
Everyone's
happened?
Aiden. Everybody left except for me.
Okay.
I went and
I
got
had a legit-
pizza.
I had a legitimate reason.
I
There was
also
some-
had a legitimate
Beck was
reason.
kicked out.
Oh, where are you now?
I thought it was funny.
I'm in a random classroom, so hopefully I don't get kicked out of this one too.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Okay,
John Kreese is like he's like they're giving him a redemption arc, and he's like,
oh, good.
I feel bad, and like he goes to like the lady and is like, you know what? I'm not entering Cobra Kai and the Sekai Takai now. You're in control of it. So guess what she does? She kills her grandfather to take control of
Yeah.
Cobra Kai
Wait, how did she kill her grandfather?
with like a
in what way?
knife.
Oh, like an actual like a murder. Okay.
What you thought?
Like-
you thought they were
No,
gonna skimp
this
out
is
on the
Cobra
photo?
Kai season 6.
Okay.
We do shit seriously.
Manslaughter. Sorry.
No,
I
no,
wasn't
manslaughter. It isn't
aware.
just slaughter.
Oh, okay. Because he doesn't count as a man because of his age.
Well, no, Aiden, manslaughter means you accidentally killed someone.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
murder then.
Dumbass.
Yes.
Sorry,
just
guys.
straight murder.
You do not know your murder definitions well.
Wow, Aiden, you
My
should play more
bad.
Ace Attorney.
He just
But
died in Ace Attorney.
yeah, and so he's like, I regret it, and so he leaves her to do what she does, and he's gonna go do that, and so she's gonna take control of Cobra Kai, and then he comes back to the valley. Guys, this guy is a fugitive. How does no one? So then he
Let
goes.
me tell you something. The police show up and they're just like, we'll let you finish your karate tournament. We know the soul of the valley is on the line.
Guys, they have evil karate, and that's gonna take over the world.
No.
And so then he goes up to Tori and he's like, I'm so sorry for how I failed you. And then, the tournament is starting. And so you have the Iron Dragons, and then you have Miyagi-Do. But Robbie, yeah, and they're like, Cobra Kai doesn't have like a champion. But then guess what? Tori is the only champion coming out for Cobra Kai. But they need a male champion.
Why?
Because they need a woman and male champion to fight for the women.
Oh, they need both. Okay, I thought it was just being sexist.
No. And so, but guys,
We don't let women compete in our sport.
and so she comes out as that, and then earlier,
That's it.
because Miyagi-Do, so Robbie, the son of Johnny, I'm saying this kind of poorly, but Robbie fights in an earlier match against the lead Iron Dragon, he's like the male, he's a champion. But then you also get the thing where his sensei, a guy named Wolf, and so it's Wolf and Terry Silver working together for their Iron Dragons, and like the sensei is a very abusive sensei, the way Johnny Lauren, Kreese was to Johnny in the original Karate Kid movie. He's like, you're a failure, you're nothing, and you should defeat him. And then so he makes the guy fight Robbie in a fight, and like, but he breaks Robbie's bones, and he's out of commission.
Karate Kid movie.
I don't think you're allowed to break bones. And
He broke his like leg or something.
We already killed a kid, Aiden. There's no going
yeah,
back.
we already killed a kid. Quite frankly, I don't think we should move on from that. I think we should. I think we should hold space for this one.
And then
No.
and then
the
Sam
karate must continue.
And guys, this is a really interesting thing, like, because he was training so hard to defeat this Iron Dragon named, I don't know, Lexi or something. That was his name. And guys, they have a sequence where what was it, Dimitri and Hawk, they get like some sort of like goggles of VR to like have him
God,
train.
the VR boxing. Oh
I'm
my
like, no,
God.
but and they have it like
that.
they have him, the guy just look like the actual guy. It doesn't feel like a VR, just real life. And like they're having, like, he sees Miguel as like the Iron Dragon guy, and so he's just fighting him, like, and they're like, you have to calibrate of his like fighting tactics, and you have a % chance to defeat him. And then they play like a theme song, Binary Brothers, but that's like a music theme. And there's like saying, because like Hawk and Dimitri are binary brothers. That's what they say throughout the entire show. It's the most cringe thing ever. It's like a dramatic sort of binary brothers as they do it.
Interesting.
And something you have to know about Dimitri is that he was a nerd, and he had like a hot girlfriend he got eventually in season 3 or something, but then he cheated on her in Barcelona. But
Why?
guys,
Why would you do that?
because he's feeling sexy and confident with himself, so he's like, he doesn't need her. But then she breaks up with him, and he feels sad.
Yeah, I would. I would not.
But then it comes back later. That's just a little moment later. And so they're doing that. Guys, Sam is going to go to UCLA, but she actually wants to go abroad to Okinawa.
No.
Like from Karate Kid.
Yeah, and then guys, because you know how Daniel Russo was so sad that Mr. Miyagi killed a guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that happened.
Because it turns out that someone stole his mother's like pearls or something, and the guy wouldn't give him back the pearls, so he killed him in like defense.
No.
Yeah,
No.
and so he was a good guy the whole time. They didn't do anything interesting where it's morally gray. No, he was actually a really cool guy.
We can't make Mr. Miyagi a bad guy.
Yeah.
Just
He's
because
Mr. Miyagi.
we bad guys doesn't mean we bad guys.
Bad guy.
Sorry, Uri, how does this whole thing conclude? Because right now,
It's
this feels so off the rails for the third last episode of the series. How long was this episode, by the way?
Oh, these are all like 5 episodes in total, like each like 45 minutes long. So I'm not going episode by episode, I'm just all the storylines I'm saying.
Okay, I thought this was all one big episode, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
No. But then Cobra Kai, who do you have as your champion? And then, but earlier, John Kreese goes to Johnny Lawrence and is like, I'm so sorry I failed you. I wasn't what you needed me to be. And then Johnny like crying, I loved you and you didn't love me back the way you hurt me. And then like they do so many, like this show does not let you have like a single bit of like, oh, what is that reference to? Oh, does it reference what I think it referenced? No, they have to cut back to the exact scene just so you understand what they're referencing. And it's always in is fuck ass blue tint of the past.
Are you saying that the blue tint, that the past isn't in a blue tint?
I think the past.
Yeah, whenever I think of the past, I'm like, that was blue.
Yeah, strange.
Beck, that's just like.
Beck always thinks to every situation and said, yeah, that situation was blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
Everything is blue to you, Beck.
It's just this fuck ass blue tint that's like they always have to reference, like, to go back to the original Karate Kid movies. They're like, yeah, like, so we need to see the scenes too, so we remember. You don't do this fucking blue tint all the fucking time. And so then So he has like a total redemption arc. John Kreese, and like he's like, and then Tori comes out as a Cobra Kai champion. But guys, guess what? Miguel's the male champion. He's ending the show as the dojo he started with. So that was actually kind of cool.
That's actually a crazy plot twist.
And then guys, guess who's their sensei? Guess who's their sensei?
Mr. Miyagi.
Kreese.
No, John Lawrence.
Oh.
No.
And so
Like in the beginning of the show.
yeah. And so it's kind of full circle. So that was pretty cool. There are some cool things they do in the thing where, guys, essentially all karate comes down to is like you do karate, you fail, but then you get an inspiring speech, and that's how you win karate.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they need a re-up of a like inspirational speech every like kind of little bit.
Yeah.
But here's some other storylines because Johnny is married to is dating Miguel's mom, and she gives birth, and then they marry, and that's kind of cute. Miguel is going to go to Stanford. Robbie and Tori, they still don't know where they need to go because, like, you know, they're like dumb and poor, you know. And so where do they go? And I'll tell you where they go later.
Community college.
And so then
Go to Foothill.
that's how it
That'd be
happens. And so we have the two big male fights of the episode. The fights of the episode. Tori versus the female Iron Dragon, and Miguel versus the male Iron Dragon. And you know, they're both telling him, you gotta go hard. The Iron Dragon's like, you have to fight hard. But guys, guess what? Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, they're the positive team. So they win with positivity. And then like Tori's, she can't fight, but then guys, Robbie comes up to her and says, what do you want me to tell you? What possibly thing could you tell me that would make me feel better right now? Guys, what?
I love you.
She said, I love you back.
No way. Wow.
It actually was pretty sweet, but it was so fucking obvious. And I want to tell you I love you. And that love is what makes her fight well, and she wins. But for Miguel, he's all like, Miguel, he's not doing so well. So you know what Johnny says? Nah, I love you.
I love you.
He's like, give it the best karate you can give. And so we flash back to all the moments throughout the series with the fuck ass blue tint to when he was fighting karate, and he wins the fight. But guys, guess what? The dojos, they're tied, so they need one final fight. And guess what happens in a final fight where the dojos are tied? Who has to fight? Guess who has to fight?
I don't know.
Miyagi.
The sensei.
Johnny Lawrence.
Oh my
Johnny
God.
and Wolf. Which, I mean,
Now-
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, the show, no matter how much the originals were about Daniel LaRusso, Cobra Kai is about Johnny Lawrence. So it makes sense to end on his fight. Because this whole show is like a character arc for Johnny. And so I'm not going to be totally hateful of Cobra Kai. There's definitely some first two seasons were great. But then it cringified without the show. But they've always had pretty good moments sparse throughout the later seasons.
Well, I don't know how the timeline necessarily works, but wasn't it like originally like a YouTube Red show?
Yeah.
And then
it was after season 2. For season 3, it came a Netflix show.
Yeah, so I think it might have like started going downhill then.
Yeah.
Alright, I have a question. Were they trying to be best because they were only a man and a man's got to learn to take it? They tried to believe, though the going gets rough, that you got to hang tough to make it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that history repeats itself? Try and you'll succeed. Never doubt that you're the one and you can have your dreams.
I don't understand this reference, Aiden.
It's
He's
the
just
song
singing the
from the
lyrics.
first movie.
I don't remember the first movie.
You don't remember you're the best around? It's like when he's doing the kick.
Oh, you're the best around.
Yeah. Does that not play in the show at all?
No, I don't think so.
That's like the easiest bit of pandering ever. How do they
Maybe they probably
They
did at
didn't
some
have the
point. I don't
rights to
remember
it,
the show.
blah, blah, blah.
Guys,
No, I wouldn't be
this show
surprised
should
if they
not have
didn't
been
have the rights.
6 seasons long.
Are you sure?
6 seasons and a movie.
So do you think
Wait,
it truly
yeah, is
was
the new
like-
movie that's coming out part of this show?
Yeah,
or is
Daniel
that...
Russo's in the trailer.
Okay, so it is okay, great. I can't wait to watch all 6 seasons of the show before watching the movie. Or can I?
just not
Or
gonna
am
use
I
it.
gonna be fine?
It's not connected at all. It's gonna be like a sequel to the Bruce Lee Jaden Smith one, I think.
They'll probably make like one
Those
reference
ones?
to it.
To that one, yeah.
Not the original movie.
Well,
but,
it's the same universe, but I guess it's gonna be the
All right, whatever.
guys. The Cobra Kai, the Kai universe has too many things in it.
I would think so for a series that's just kind of okay.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff.
and so like they have to fight, but Terry Silver, he's so pissed, so he's on his yacht. He's all like, he goes to his goon. You know what?
His goon?
You have to like, kidnap like his wife and girlfriend, like, and baby or something. That's what he implies. But then as he walks away, he gets knocked back, and like the goon's eyes are bloody. So presumably he's dead.
Yeah,
And
obviously.
then Johnny Lawrence is outside. He's like, I'm not John Kreese is outside. He's like, I'm not letting you hurt him. I'm not letting you hurt Johnny. And then they have like a fight with just like these two really old, pathetic karate guys just fighting. And then like he has him pinned down, but then guys, the loose cigarette, the loose cigar, and then their fucking yacht blows up and they both die.
Of course.
Guys, what happened to the show? How
It's
Greatness.
everything at the same time. It's almost like it's all the tears.
Wow.
how does this happen? How guys, a karate show should not have like major death.
That's your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. And so they
Well, I
both
gotta
die.
say, the recap was insanely entertaining.
John Kreese died.
You got a problem with John?
That's his redemption arc. He stopped. So now it's just Wolf.
He died. His redemption arc was he died.
So
Yeah.
Wolf and then Johnny Lawrence fight, and then guys, guess who wins?
Johnny Lawrence.
Yep. And then all that happens, and then guys, Robbie and Tori, like a person from Icon Branding came up to them. He's like, you know what?
course.
You should do karates across the country and be like icons and I don't know, become influencers or something. I don't know, something stupid like that.
The influencer plotline, it's back.
It's back.
And so that's where they're gonna go. And then the last scene of the show is Daniel and Johnny, they're sitting at like dinner, like having like some meal together, and then Johnny leaves to go to the bathroom. Then like he has a memory of like Mr. Miyagi telling him, the smartest man who like catches a fly with chopsticks, he has patience. And so there's a fly around him, and he like tries to do it, but then Johnny snaps the fly with his hand, showing how they're different guys, but at the end of the day, they both have a method to kill the fly, and they're
They
like
both are karate kids.
they're both up guard. And before that scene, the scene I assumed the show would end on was Johnny training the new era of Cobra Kai, but now you saw, guys, you're also going to learn Miyagi-Do. You're also not just strike hard because that leads to pain in your mind, but also Miyagi-Do to balance yourself out.
Because that's what karate is, balance.
And I don't get it. How does evil karate take over the world? Who knows? I'm fighting for the soul of the valley here. And ultimately, in being a retrospective on this whole show, it was kind of a letdown in a lot of ways. It became so fucking cringy to handle sometimes. But honestly, on the facts of the show, they did pretty well with the character arcs and like pretty good on that stuff. But also ultimately, like, I don't know, maybe like a C+ for a show.
Oh, that's good.
Like it
I'm
wasn't
glad
all
it's a
bad,
C+.
terrible. Like,
That's a
there's
passing grade.
like it's like quite enjoyable in a lot of few ways, but there's just like so many like it gets to the level where the show takes itself so seriously it becomes cringy. Like they make it seem like this really serious thing that two guys from karate are killed on a yacht.
Yeah. By a loose cigarette, that he threw into the oil tank.
You're like, I don't get this show. But so that was Cobra Kai. and I'm sad now. I'm gonna kill myself because there's no more Cobra Kai.
You mean she's
I got
happy?
a
You're
great
happy
yacht
because
for
there's
you,
no more
Ori.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a terrible show. It was like fun, and like I definitely think they needed to wrap it up quicker, like because they prolonged so many karate tournaments throughout the show. Like to the end of the season, guys, the Sakai Takai. If you took a drink every time you said Sakai Takai, you would die of alcohol poisoning.
We should
How-
try
like
that sometime.
episode
How fast
one.
though?
Like no,
When I'm
you
off of
maybe like the
Accutane, we
first
should
10
try that.
minutes, honestly.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Once I'm off Accutane, we should try that.
yeah,
No, I don't want to. You can. I'd watch you do it.
I'd watch Nicola do that too.
Nicola overdose live.
I want an overdoses. That's just alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
Overdose.
Anyway, but
Alright. Is it my turn?
yeah, Beck.
Because I got stuff to say.
You do have stuff
So-
to say.
First thing, new Avatar show announced.
Yeah, what was
Avatar-
this? I keep hearing about this.
Avatar.
Avatar 7
I am
Havens.
So happy.
It
I'm
got
so
leaked.
happy.
Like the entire plot got like fully leaked. So like we knew what it was gonna be about. But they officially announced it like last
And the
week.
entire
What's it
plot
about?
is that Korra's a fucking bum.
So we have the first Avatar show, and then we have the sequel show, Avatar: Legend of Korra. And this takes place after Korra. And what happened was Korra as the Avatar,
Fucked up. She
Like,
basically
opened up the spirit
She
portals.
opened up the portal to hell and left it open.
And was like, this will be a good idea. And then some kind of big calamity happened, and all the developed world got destroyed. And now everyone hates the Avatar, and there's only 7 havens of humanity left.
What?
And we saw the next Avatar, who's an Earthbender, and I believe it's a twin Avatar. I don't know if they both have powers or not,
It
but
said only one of them did.
okay.
Only one of them has one.
But twin avatars, and yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to be good. I mean, it's a new Avatar show by the same people, so it's definitely going to be good.
But Nicola hasn't even seen Korra.
Nicola does need to fucking watch Korra.
I'm not watching Korra. I hate Korra.
All right, guys.
It's out of principle. It's literally out
I
of
do
principle.
want to mention a quick news thing. So we did get more of an update on some DC stuff.
Oh, okay. Can we talk? Yeah, let's talk about DC because I've been wanting to talk about it.
Yeah.
So
you guys
let
can
me.
talk about DC.
Okay. So what today they kind of announced a lot of stuff. So Uri, you posted that there was an update on 2 different Batman movies were possible. There's a Teen Titans film.
Because right now we have the sort of the Batman universe with like
Yeah.
Matt Reeves and all that. And so we still have that coming on 2027, but they also said there's still an active development for The Brave and the Bold, which is going to be their DCU Batman.
Yeah, but there's not a director attached to that yet, I don't think.
Yeah. But they said it's still in active development. So it's interesting because like I don't remember like the last time, like maybe I guess you can say this like where we get like 2 kind of movies, but like of the same sort of character. Like
Yeah.
maybe Spider-Man with like Spider-Man like Spider-Verse and then also Tom Holland movies, but like I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like it's interesting.
But I wanted to talk about the DC's goal and then the other 3 shows that they announced.
Yeah.
So DC for the next 6 years plans to release 7 projects a year, being 2 live action movies, 1 animated movie, 2 live action shows, and 2 animated shows. That's a lot.
That's a lot, and I really because like learning how we've seen Marvel kind of with their own TV shows, I really hope that doesn't lead to like fucking burnout on the content.
I
We're just
you
an
would say,
insane
here,
drop in quality.
you would say that. Oh, Beck, did you get kicked out again?
No, I just readjusted because my
Oh, okay.
laptop's dying.
Oh, okay. No, I would say that, but DC is always releasing shows.
I
Like,
guess
it's
that
not
is
that
true.
Creature Commandos came out a month ago. Harley Quinn is going again.
Yeah, but it's
There's
like but
I
there
mean,
are
is
di-
Harley Quinn counted in like animated shows, or is it like?
I think
Yeah.
it's I don't know.
but those are
that's just,
different
like,
universes. This is the same universe.
I don't think they
Yeah.
are.
Really?
I
Is it
don't
like
think these
different
are all-
Elseworlds?
Yeah, these
stuff?
are just
Oh.
other DC shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. because I think James Gunn is smart enough to know that like the general consumer is gonna have a fit if all 7 of these things every year are all connected.
Yeah,
They can't all be connected.
that's
I mean,
fair. Definitely
something
for at
they
least the
annou-
animated shows.
something they announced was new, like in the universe of My Adventures with Superman, My Adventures with Green Lantern. Like
Oh.
that's not going to be connected to the main
Yeah, that's
universe.
fair. That's actually true. Especially the
But
animated stuff
yeah,
might be different.
yeah, but I am very excited about My Adventures with Green Lantern. It's going to follow
I am also very excited.
Jessica Cruz, which is very
'Cause-
cool because she's not ever in anything.
Yeah, the little amount of Jessica Cruz I've seen from the Ruby show, she seemed like a really compelling character.
All right, Beck.
Wow, this guy
Wow.
doesn't like my opinions.
Yeah, I don't. But knowing that My Adventures with can be like a bigger thing, I would like to see more. I think the Flash would work really well in this kind of a style. Um, maybe even Wonder Woman. I think like they should just keep doing the like My Adventures with because it's a really good show, My Adventures with Superman, and having the different characters will be good.
And we're getting Clayface. That seems to be really
We're
happening.
getting Claireface.
And Sergeant Rock, which earlier this week I think Daniel Craig dropped out, but
Yeah.
Luca Guadagnino, he seems like he's still going to direct that.
Yeah. We also have a Starfire animated series
Yeah.
that was announced.
Speaking
we
of
have-
Starfire, we have like a live action Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And
So
that
that'll
seems to
be
be
fun.
interesting because like
I-
there was a Titans show that was live action, but it was like not good. So I wonder
Cyborg isn't even in that one.
I wonder how they would go about this movie in like in the live action way because they always seem more animated, the Teen Titans.
Yeah. Also, there's this other show they announced, Superpowers. Here's what discussing film said. A series follows new students, Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra, learning at a school headed by Principal Martian Manhunter. So pretty unique kind of a premise with some pretty big names. And then again, that one had Terra, who is like in TV. That's like she's in Teen Titans a lot.
Yeah. And for Clayface, something that's interesting is that Clayface is voiced by Alan Tudyk, who in Harley Quinn and in the Creature Commandos he voiced Clayface, but he also voiced Dr. Phosphorus, but he's not going to be live because like something that DCU is trying to do is that they want to make their live action actors and animate and voice actors the same. But he's not going to do Clayface. He's going to be because he also voiced Dr. Phosphorus in the Creature Commandos. So presumably he'd be more the live action Dr. Phosphorus. And I also don't think the Clayface movie is going to be in DCU. It seems more like Elseworlds type of story, based on like what I've heard. Because like it's about an actor who takes like a substance to
Yeah. It is just the substance.
It is like the substance.
Yeah. But I am very excited just to see what DC does because
it feels way more exciting than Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, just because for DC, they haven't really been doing anything lately.
Yeah, they don't have like we like know that like Marvel's been slumping recently, but we're giving DC this chance, you know?
Yeah, the last thing was like fucking Joker 2, The Batman.
Yeah.
The Batman was good though.
Yeah.
And people like one of those.
Wow.
The Penguin was good though.
Yeah, Penguin. That another DC show that was released recently. Like they are always pumping shows
Something
out.
The Robert Pattinson verse is different from the DCEU, but still.
Yeah. That's exciting because like the DC multiverse is always more plentiful than Marvel. I mean, they both have multiverses, but DC always feels like a better multiverse, so they can really play with that in like live action and like in television and movies. So I think it would be really cool to see multiple sort of universes because they already kind of do that now with different universes, but now to see more like an official version. Because like I think it's so wonderful the idea of having 2 live action Batman movies.
That is going to be cool. Yeah, because just having different takes on different on the same characters, like it's a cool thing to have.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about DC, can I get Harley Quinn out of the way?
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
How is the Slump Fest?
So this episode is really fucking weird. So Lois and Harley are talking, and they're like, the brain in the sky, how mysterious. It might be connected to that one guy that died the other day. And Harley Quinn is like, actually, I killed that guy. And then Lois is like, I'm gonna tell somebody. And then they both go to the paper, and the paper is like, because the paper is run by Clayface right now, because he's pretending. He's like, yes, we will not do Lois's paper. And then Lois quits. Lois quits the thing. But then guess what? Len, what is her name? Lex Luthor's sister?
Lenny Luthor?
That's not right. Yeah, Lena Luthor.
I was close.
She shows up. She's like, guys, breaking news. I know Brainiac, and he's gonna kill everyone. Because at the beginning of the episode, or at the end of the episode last time, she was like, hey, you're not gonna let me be the king. And he's like, be patient, please. Making things perfect takes time. And she's like, you're taking too long. And he's like, you know what? You made fun of my dead monkey, and now you made fun of me. No, our deal is off. So now she's mad that she can't be ruler of Metropolis like she always wanted to be. She is evil, by the way. If that wasn't clear, she's Lex Luthor's sister is obviously evil now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she comes in, she tells Clayface and Harley and Bane, and they are all told the information. And they're like, you know what? Let's write a musical about this event that's happening. So then they write and star in a music. Okay, Bane writes the musical, and Clayface takes all the credit. So then they write a musical, and then they do the musical. And also, okay, here, key point. Frank the Plant is in the show as Coco. So they do the musical. It's very dumb. Let me here. I'm gonna break down this last part, how I wrote it out. I wrote it out the other day for all to see my live reaction to the episode. What exactly did I write? All right, here's what I wrote. They did an actual smart writing move. Clayface makes the musical, and Bane writes the whole thing. And as Clayface is singing, he sings the word "sploded" instead of exploded, because Bane says "sploded," and Bane wrote it. So naturally, the character that wrote the musical would write their way of speaking into it. That's really cool. And then Brainiac breaks the fourth wall. He's been watching the musical the whole time and turns toward the screen and says, they've never experienced grief like I have. Let's make them experience it. And then he kills Frank somehow, and Frank dies. By the way, the last thing that Frank did on screen was jack off. So they were
That's how anyone wants to go out.
So we're really writing the characters with dignity.
Yeah,
by having them.
It's a really good show. It's a really well written idea.
Yeah, you could tell because the plant jerked off and then he died 2 seconds later. Really cool. And then Brainiac turns back to the camera and he's like, now they know how it feels. And then the episode ends. Clearly. I would say the Brainiac turning towards the camera is kind of cool. And I do want to see how they like explore that, because he knows that he's going crazy. Like with how long he's been like perfecting planets and pretending his monkey's been alive and his whole family is dead and his whole planet's blown up. It is cool to see like, hey, this guy is clearly going insane, and now he's so insane he can like break the fourth wall.
That's
like
really
that's cool.
That's not something I usually see. Is that something we usually see for Brainiac?
No,
oh, that's cool.
I don't think so. But I thought that was interesting. Despite
I mean,
it
has like it sounds like it has elements of being good, and like.
So yeah, it has elements of being good. Yes. Does not make it good. Not at all.
It's really the Cobra Kai of DC right now.
DC. Yeah.
This was the Sakai Takai of Harley Quinn.
In fact, you gotta take a drink now.
You gotta write stuff on that whiteboard behind you so when the teacher
Yeah,
comes in
write
tomorrow,
Sakai,
they're
please, Beck.
confused.
I'm not doing
Right,
that.
Cobra Kai is the greatest show of all time.
I don't think he should write that.
But
Especially in
anything
a
else happen in the
film-
episode, Aiden?
Especially in a
No.
school filled with film majors. I think everybody will love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has been talking about Cobra Kai on campus, you know?
I
really?
I
They've been
don't
like,
think they have.
who's
Beck-
gonna die, you know?
Beck, who's
Look
the most
what they got
pretentious?
on a yacht.
Who's the most pretentious person you met at film school?
I don't know. There's just pretentious people all around.
Yeah.
Beck's bad at telling stories. Because guys, when you can't find a pretentious person, you are the pretentious person.
Oh my god.
I know it's not me.
It's
I know
definitely
it's me.
a
Guys,
not
Kung
me.
Fu Enter the Fist was actually mentioned in my class today.
Yeah,
Wait,
obviously,
really?
because it's one of the top 3 films
Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah, Beck. I was like peak movies. No, we were.
What did
talking
they
about-
say? Did they?
We were just mentioning different parody films and like the subgenres of like comedy and like parody, and that was like one someone mentioned.
Good. They
So-
better have mentioned it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's exciting. But Harley Quinn is not exciting, and I don't know if
No,
I'm
it's
ever
not.
gonna watch it again because like it's very sad what that show.
Well,
became.
I'll keep you posted. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
I assume we're in. Did they say in the DC stuff, Kite Man season 2?
No, they haven't announced Kite Man season
I don't think
2,
that's
even
ever
though-
coming out.
Well, it is gonna come out. We know it's gonna come out.
How do we-
how do we know?
to do
do you
that
mean,
well
how
in
do we know?
ratings?
Because it's Kite Man. They have to make more Kite Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
But
guys.
Beck, talk about something.
Oh, let me pull it out, you know? I got a long list.
What does he mean? Pull it out.
My
Pull
phone.
it
Am I
out.
pulling it?
Pull
I'm on my
it out.
phone.
All right,
I'm
great.
pulling it out, and by
Which has
it,
letterbox.
my phone.
By it, I mean Letterbox. Okay, great.
Okay,
mean-
so
This is guys. This is
first
Beck's
thing I
dating app.
watched,
Letterboxd is
It
dating app.
is. I meet all my women through Letterbox. Okay, so first thing I watched, Beautiful Day, and I'm like, okay, I've been trying to get tickets to Niza 2 for the past week.
Beck,
You
you're
did
saying
say
it
that.
wrong.
I am saying it wrong. I'm not gonna say it right though, because I completely forgot how to say it right. So
That's good.
I go and I'm just like, you know, screw it. I'll just get one in like the front of the theater and just watch it. It'll be fine. I'll just knock it out in an afternoon. And I sit down, only white guy in the theater,
Of course.
and I'm ready for peak cinema. I mean, I'm not ready for peak cinema because I thought, hey, this is just gonna be kind of like an average film, you know?
Yeah.
But oh my god, it was so peak. I
Was
can't get in to how good this is because it just has like a sense of scale. It felt like the Dune 2 of animated films.
okay?
Like, you know, like the fucking sequel that just builds on and just like does everything 10 times bigger. It's so good. You guys have to watch it.
Well, I will watch it. Probably not this
What's
week.
Niza 2
okay.
about?
So Niza 1
Oh my
is
God.
about this guy named Niza, and he
What?
is the Chaos Emerald. And
Yeah, this sounds like a
he-
Beck movie.
Yeah. Okay. So, basically, at the end, the Chaos Emerald in Niza teams up with the Spirit Emerald in Albing, and they team up. And then in this movie, the evil dragons, which control the underworld sea monsters by holding them down, eventually decide, oh my god, they found out Albing is the Spirit Pearl. This is going to
Beck,
ruin
so far,
everything.
this doesn't sound that interesting.
Okay, no. But then the dragons, there's like this, the sister dragon of the North Sea has the claw that lets her rip through like and teleport through dimensions. So she teleports a bunch of lava around the pass, and then they fight with lava and all the demons attack, but they're still chained up. So eventually they cut an ultimatum where it's like, if you get Albing his body back, I won't destroy the thing. But for that, Niza has to go complete 3 trials. So he goes and he completes 2 of the trials, and then they're like, oh my god, the pass has been destroyed.
No way.
Not the past. That's my favorite
got-
place.
So, and then we're like, fuck, it was the evil guy from the first movie because he was the only one at the pass.
That makes
So
sense.
we're like, we
actually.
have to go kill that guy, and we have to kill the dragons because the dragons are the one that actually did it.
Obviously.
So Niza beats up a giant woman mountain, gets the immortality thing, and then they go and they have this giant cauldron. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna put the cauldron above the sea, and then close the cauldron on the sea, and it's gonna trap all the dragons and all the demons in it. And then they're gonna burn up and turn into immortality pearls.
When
'cause
did he
you
say
eat them-
Myarachus? Does he say that?
he did not say Myarachus. But then what happens is we find out that the mentor guy who's been running the trials is actually the evil guy, and he's the one that destroyed the pass. So they need to go fight him, but then Niza gets trapped in the
But then
cauldron.
what-
You sound like a
And
fucking
then-
child, exasperated. Like
And
telling his
then,
mom.
and then he went, and then he went, and then he went, and then we go, and then
and then Niza's mom dies, and then
Oh,
his
no.
body, which was broken at the end of the first movie, and it was like not fully repaired, but the fire makes him into the hot twink Niza, and hot twink Niza teams up with Al Bing, and they break out of the cauldron and they fight the old guy. Turns out he has a bunch of trees. Then he has like 100,000 of the demon hunters, and they have to fight all the demons. And it's like all this like white and the black fighting in the sky, and the guys, all the trees and the branches are flying everywhere.
He did the thing where and then he blew up, and it was so cool, Mom.
So eventually they fight, but then eventually they're at a standstill, and then they're like, okay, we'll end the battle for now, but we're coming back stronger. Because what they introduced earlier in the film is they have like the 12 immortals, which are like the 12 most strong people, and something called like the a new war is upcoming, and that's why they needed all the immortality pearls.
What the
And
fuck
then
is happening in this
Eventually,
movie?
Al Bing is like about to go with the dragons, but they're like, do what you want, Al Bing. And then Al Bing goes with Niza, and they dap out. They're like, why you came back? It's like, because we're too young to fear. And then Niza 3, it's coming out soon, and it's gonna be so hype.
And this is a foreign movie.
So overall, this film is deserving of being the highest grossing animated film, in my opinion. This shit is hype as hell.
Is it foreign?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I had to watch it in sub. I
Bro, I had to
definitely
watch
would
it in
recommend
sub.
watching it in sub.
I thought you'd watch
But
it in
Aiden,
dub.
please watch this film. It's so good.
I'll try to watch it. I do want to watch it.
No, it
It's not that I
sounds.
don't
It
want
actually
to.
sounds cool. Just the way Beck
Yeah,
describes
no, and
it.
there's this entire battle in like the second trial where the guy just has the ability to teleport behind the guy every time, and they keep teleporting around, jumping around. The guy's like an arrow, and it goes into like 20 different bows and shoots 20 arrows. The guy teleporting through the lake because he's holding the shape-shifting leopard, which is the brother of the bad guy who's holding the pass. You know?
It's really
Yeah,
interesting how
of course.
in complex animated films have become.
Yeah, no, it was crazy to me because they stuffed so much lore in it, but it didn't like feel unnatural. You know, it felt like everything like made sense in the story. And I also think it was definitely like they had to do the first one as setup to like prove, yeah, we can do this large scale battle thing.
So Niza 3 will be Niza 3 Messiah.
Yeah,
Like Dune Messiah.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, that was Niza 2. It's currently my highest my film of the year for 2025.
Wow. You're Ricky Stanicki.
No, Uri, watch this film and you'll see what I mean.
Well, have you seen Ricky Stanicki?
I have seen Ricky Smith. That was last year. Can't make it to my list this year.
It precedes
Clearly
all
not.
lists.
Okay, next solo thing I watched Companion.
You actually,
Um,
I really wanted to watch Companion, but you
Yes.
watched
Now,
Yes.
Companion, I was like, okay, it came out January 31st. I should
Yeah.
go try to catch it in theaters.
I wanted to
But,
catch it in theaters.
hey, let me check like the release date of this thing. And I look and it says, wait, it's coming to digital February 18th?
Whoa.
So wait, it came to digital 3 weeks after its theatrical release. I'm just like, why not just watch it at home? So I just downloaded it and I watched it at home. It was good film.
Good
I thought it was good. It was like
Uh-huh.
the typical like kind of horror movie
With
where
a
it's
robot,
like the
yeah.
evil robot,
Yeah.
but it's more like
They subvert it.
the humans are trying to frame the robot for murder, and the robot's trying not to get like framed for the murder and
That's a
get
pretty good
killed.
subversion.
Yeah. And it was good. Jack Quaid's really good in it.
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
I
they
think he's like a
go-
really rising star right now. I think 'Cause we
He's
have-
not really a rising star. He's
mean-
kind of always been a star.
No, he's not. I feel like he hasn't been like the big
I mean, his
lexicon. As,
father
like the
has also been a star for a while. He is
Yeah,
a nepo,
but now
baby, and
he's
he
like-
knows that.
But now he's like in this
he's
movie,
like one
and
of
he
the
also
better
has
ones because he
Novocaine
actually
coming out.
acknowledges it.
He also has Novocaine coming out as well.
He does have Novocaine coming out.
Of course,
But
with
I
that.
think it's kind of sad that Companion went to digital so early because like it didn't give like a chance to really flourish in the theaters. But I guess it might have not made a lot of money, so they had to put it on like digital to make a quick upsell. Because the thing is, January is always a terrible month for movies. It's
Yeah.
like dry January for movies. It's like very like it doesn't work out well because like we're like after the holidays it's so spent, nobody's going to go out to theaters, and movies in January always do terribly, so it's kind of on their fault. I think if I was them, I would have pushed the release to like February.
Yeah. I mean, the film is the most popular on Letterboxd right now and like the most popular for 2025. So I feel like it definitely has the chance to like if they release it on a streaming service, it could pop off. Like this feels like
Yeah.
the film like people would really like. I really liked it.
Yeah, no, and I'll try to catch it.
Um,
What streaming service?
I just pirated it. I
Oh.
think it's on digital right now, so you can either like pay $20 for it or just
You're
pirate
not
it.
you can't, you're not sucking the corporate overlord's dick.
My bad.
Wow.
Okay, now guys, what is the best film ever made?
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Okay, what do most people think the best movie of all time
Shawshank.
is?
La La Land.
Jimmy,
Whiplash,
James and the Giant Peach.
Big Fish.
Citizen Kane.
Oh, I
Now
actually
this
liked it.
film has always been this like touted to me as Citizen Kane's the greatest film ever made. And for my media history class, we had to pick a film like from that time period to watch, and my
you
group picked Citizen Kane. And I watched it, and it was really good. I think,
Oh, Beck, I'm
it's
shocked
this-
because you hate old movies.
He does hate all
yeah,
movies.
I usually hate old movies. That's why I'm
Okay,
surprised I
okay.
like Citizen Kane.
I mean, it's not.
guys-
I wouldn't consider like a great, but it's a pretty good movie.
Guys, I hate
Yeah.
to say it, but a lot of old movies are actually not very good. I don't know if
Yeah.
this is a hot take or not, but it's literally true, I think.
Yeah.
Even Rear Window.
But I
Aiden,
watched.
Yeah, if you want to think about it like that, sure.
That's one of your favorite movies, Aiden.
Yeah, I know, but some people might not like it because I will admit there's a lot of it that's not very good.
Damn.
Yeah, so Citizen Kane, I feel like it does this whole thing where it's different. It's like taking place from like a bunch of people interviewing a guy after his death, and it like does a ton of flashbacks.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'd get a lot more out of it if in like a rewatch where I actually like fully understand the timeline of everything.
Yeah, no. But you finally understand the cultural reference to Rosebud now.
Yeah, and there was also so many shots like the snow globe falling out of his hand. Like I've seen that before, but I like never knew it was from Citizen Kane.
No, but it's like a really good movie. It's based off the idea of the guy named William Hurst, who was
Citizen
essentially
Kane?
that guy, but because he had a lot of like media companies and he did a lot of like sort of yellow journalism, which is like fake kind of news journalism as we know now. And so it was based very much off William Randolph Hearst. And there's actually a movie called, if I'm not mistaken,
Citizen Kane.
Mank, and that was by David Fincher. It's like about the creation of making that movie
Mm.
because it's made by Orson.
Wells.
Yeah, and it's like it was actually a pretty storied history of how he made the movie because it was like pretty kind of like I think it was controversial because like the guy it was very much heavily based on William Randolph Hearst, who was a big mogul of the time period, which is cool.
Yeah. And then continuing on, I watched Companion. And I'm like, okay, I really liked the robot.
You
film
watched
stuff.
I,
I should
Robot.
No, I watched Ex Machina.
Why?
Because I heard it's a very popular robot film.
I've never seen.
And
Ex
you
Machina.
didn't watch Robots?
I didn't know.
You didn't watch Cowboys versus Aliens?
No. So Ex Machina, it's basically this guy, and he built a robot, and he brought in another guy to test if the robot is human.
If it's
And
fuckable.
then, yeah, basically. And then the woman seduces him and tricks him into helping her escape, and then she escapes. But there's so much stuff where it's like, this creator guy, it was such a dumbass. Like, he's like, maybe should I program the ability for this human not to hurt people into their programming? Nah. Should I have an EMP in the laboratory so I can stop the robot if it goes loose? Nah. Should I have like a more detailed security system? Nah. Should I disconnect the robot's power supply from the power supply of the rest of the place? Nah. So
Like,
yeah.
it's not a robot movie if the people are smart.
Let me tell you, the people in Companion were smart.
The people need to be smart enough to make the robot, but not smart enough to contain the robot
Yeah.
and stop it from being evil.
Yeah. Like in Companion, they literally have to hack the robot to like turn off the setting that like makes it so she can't kill people.
Yeah. But
But yeah, that was Ex Machina.
and it's like it has like yeah. It's like I heard but it's like a pretty good movie, right?
Yeah. I thought it was good. It has Oscar Isaac. He's really good in it.
Yeah. Sort of it's one
Yeah.
it's one of like the classic kind of robot movies. Do they have a Deus Ex Machina in it?
A Deus Ex Machina?
The Deus Ex Machina?
No, they don't.
Hmm.
Which was annoying.
Why would that annoy? I feel like it'd be more annoying to have one, considering
Well,
that's the.
I don't know why
point
they
of the
called it
plot
Ex
device.
Machina then.
Is it an
Because
Ex
it-
machine?
Ex
The
Machina-
machine?
Yeah,
Nah.
Deus Ex Machina means God of the Machine. I think God
Hmm.
from the machine.
You really want
Okay.
a Deus Ex Machina in the movie?
Yes. And I want them to
Wow.
say, wow, that was our Deus Ex Machina.
Wow, that
I-
was my Deus Ex Machina.
We should have one for this podcast.
Yeah. We need like some random twist to happen at the end.
Guys, Nicola is black.
That's not
I can
right.
say the N word now.
Okay, well that's all my singles. Someone else want to do their
That's okay.
singles?
I don't think I watched any single. I think the only singles I've watched, I've also watched with Aiden or with somebody else.
I do have a single if we want to hear it.
No,
Yeah.
I'll talk. About any singles I have. I'll go through them quickly actually.
All right.
As I said, I watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but we already discussed that. I watched this stop motion sort of version of Alice in Wonderland called Alice. It's a Czech film, and it's pretty interesting. They go through like the things of Alice in Wonderland, but it's like in such a like sort of toy version way. It makes no sense, but it's kind of crazy.
It was you did not give it a rating. You just gave it a heart and said I don't understand. So really excited to know how.
Anyway,
don't
and you
know.
seem like a big Alice in Wonderland fan.
Hold on.
He's going to go into the rabbit hole.
Oh, is he grabbing his Alice in Wonderland DVD?
No, it was
What was
jacket.
that?
I have an Alice in Wonderland hoodie. I do think it is a really good movie though.
Yeah.
Like I don't think a lot of the movies from Disney's like early days are like that good. Like
Yeah.
Snow White, Pinocchio, Dumbo, Fantasia, those are all like not amazing. Like they're good, but they're not like
Clearly,
amazing.
we haven't watched them 20 times in a row.
I do think that like Alice in Wonderland is really good though.
Yeah, no, it's like it's pretty. It's always been like a pretty solid adaptation story. Like 'cause
I've
it's like,
also read the books. I've read both Through the Looking Glass and Alice in Wonderland,
I
and
think
those are
it's
both
a-
really good.
I think it's a honestly better sort of girl away from home story than Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I think they live in the same kind of idea space.
Yeah,
The only thing is that Wizard of Oz has like officially like 100 sequels,
yeah.
where
But-
Alice in Wonderland really
and
only
then-
has the two source material books.
yeah, and then they had like a live action movie.
Did
And
you
like,
see both of those?
and there's like a sequel, Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah,
No.
that one's not directed by Tim Burton. The first one is. The second one is not.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but
The first one's really good. Like the first one is an honestly like really good follow up to the original movie.
is that one with Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that first one, really good movie. The second one is a movie that exists. But
I mean, it
first-
makes
the
because
first
like there's
live
no
action is-
actual a sequel to the book, is there?
yeah,
Oh, looking.
Yeah.
I thought they made it up. Looking through the Looking
Through
Glass.
the Looking Glass is the first book.
Oh, and what's the
Through the
second
Lo-
book?
Is Alice in Wonderland.
Oh,
Wonderland comes second. Through the Looking Glass is first.
oh,
Through the Looking Glass is the one that actually has a lot of the stuff that we see in the movie, like the Red Queen or the Queen of Hearts, the Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the rabbit. No, the rabbit's
Mad
from Alice in
Hatter.
Wonderland. Yeah, but a lot of that, like the main stuff, is actually from Looking Glass. And I remember reading the books. I'm like, these are from the other movie, or these
Yeah.
are from the these
Yeah,
are from
okay.
this book. Like, but like the live action one incorporates both. Like the live action one has both the Queen of Hearts and the White Queen. But there are some parts that I would like to have seen adapted into any of the films. There's this one scene in I think Through the Looking Glass where Alice goes into this forest where she forgets who she is. And I think that she has a really fun conversation with the character there.
Like in
Or-
Ruby.
Yeah, sure. Or the one, yeah, Beck. The part that volume 9 of Ruby is based on Alice in Wonderland and uses a part of Alice in. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But there's another scene in the original, and I think this one's Wonderland, where Alice is in a boat with a baby pig, and then she goes into a kitchen, and then they start sneezing everywhere, and it's a crazy fucking chapter. And I wish that was adapted in some form, but that's not in anything, and it's insane, quite frankly.
yeah. That's yeah. It's
I would-
a
I would-
good
I-
story. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would read them if you can. They're like less than 100 pages, both
Yeah.
books.
I watched Bicycle Thieves. Beck, have you seen that?
I have not. Is that
It's
a
one
new
of the
release?
classic film school film history
Oh.
movies.
Mm.
So
So it's probably
essentially,
not good.
no, it's actually pretty good. So it's Italian neorealism, and essentially the Italian neorealism era. Their focus was like very natural lighting, no heavy editing. The actors are not professional; they're off the street actors, and like really like sort of realist sort of stories. And this takes place like in post-war Italy, so it's like a lot of poor people, and so we follow this guy who has like he needs a job, but for this job he needs a bicycle, so he buys a bicycle, but his bicycle gets stolen, and this whole movie he's trying to find it with his son, the bicycle, but he can't find it. So guess what he does? He becomes what he despises.
And he steals
He's-
another bicycle.
He
It's like
steals
the
another
cycle of like revenge.
Yeah, he steals a bike,
No.
but then like the guy, unlike the other time, everybody clocks on that he steals the bike, and he just gets like beat up.
No.
And then his just son looks at him like, "Oh, you're so pathetic."
It's so pathetic. You got beat up for stealing a bike.
And so it was actually a pretty good movie because because there's a translation of the movie when it's translated to America, it's just the bicycle thief. But the original like idea is bicycle thieves because like ultimately it becomes two thieves. The guy becomes a thief as well, so it's like two.
Mm.
So kind of foreshadowing, which I always thought was really cool.
Wow.
I watched Bringing Up Baby, which is sort of one of those classic sort of comedy films from like the 30s and that era, like Howard Hawks. It's like pretty good, like sort of rom-com where it's like this like guy needs to like he's works at a museum and he wants to get money for funding as a museum, but like sort of this ditzy sort of girl falls in love with him and she has like a leopard and they're trying to like go take this leopard to the zoo. So it's a pretty fun scenario. It's like, yeah, Audrey Hepburn's in it and she's I think Katharine Hepburn actually is in it and she's always really good. Katharine Hepburn, she's a great actress. She was, at least. I watched I'm Still Here so I can like know about the Oscar.
Oh yeah.
And pretty sad film.
Yeah, very sad film.
It was very good. But oh my god, there's like 2 time jumps in the movie, and the last one was not necessary at all. I get
Well, Beck really likes
Yeah, that
time
last
jump.
one was not necessary. I will agree.
yeah, it's like so essentially the guy, like her husband, was like killed by the Brazilian government after torture. And so she was a real person, this person. And so kind of get like through like every biopic, most biopics are like, and then she you know what? She made it out and they lived for 30 years, something like that. It would be like in the after biopic ends. So they do that. And like, it's nice that
Did you know it was a biopic before going in?
Yeah, I did know.
Okay, because for me I was really confused when they randomly just had the son show up in a wheelchair. I'm like, how is this necessary to the plot?
Hey,
and then I realized, that's how it was in
in the
reality.
plot that the guy in real life has in a wheelchair.
Beck when his like parent dies, how is this necessary to the plot?
Yeah.
Guys, it's character development.
No, because I think if you can do that, like without like if that wasn't fictional, I think it's actually a pretty interesting choice to have the thing in the wheelchair. It shows that you're willing to take a story risk without it necessarily having to pay off.
All right, bro.
Well, that's also kind of Chekhov's gun, where you don't want to just have this and just be like, we're not going to explain it.
Chekhov's wheelchair?
Yeah, Chekhov's wheelchair.
But no, it was a pretty good movie. But I mean, there's not a lot that happens actually. But Beck, I still don't understand your fascination with like fucking time jumps.
I
feel like does it ruin a story to take us out of the current moment?
A little bit.
I feel like we look back on that moment and we just, well, okay. I do have a bit of a problem with it. Well, mostly just because I've been playing this one game that's like heavy story based, and it all just like takes place, like jumping between the past when it happened and the future when it happened. So, yeah, I was just like, it kind of sucks because you're just stuck at an endpoint. So that I feel like jumping to the future. There are definitely some
I wouldn't consider a flashback in present time jumps. I would consider a time jump is one that we follow the movie entirely presently, and then another time jump, and we don't go back. We're just in the new timeline.
Yeah, and I really like that because you can really just see how the characters grew, like post the story.
I guess, but I feel like there's good uses for it, but I feel like it can be overused, like because like I think what's so interesting is more of the current moment. It can definitely
be used like it can be overused like anything else, but I feel like when it's used effectively, it's very effective.
Yeah, and I would say the movie, at least the first time jump, had a pretty good jump.
Yeah, definitely the second time jump was not necessary.
Phineas and Ferb, the movie Across the Second Dimension, still classic movie. Awesome.
Very good movie. Did you ever watch Candace Against the Universe?
I did. I did not like that movie at all.
Fair.
I hated it, Aiden, and if you like it, I'm going to your house.
I thought some of it was good.
That's gonna get us demonetized, or
I thought some of it was good.
I will not mutilate Aiden.
Thank you.
I don't think it's gonna fix it.
I'm glad that he won't mutilate Aiden.
Yeah.
Aiden,
I'm
what's your
very
single?
anti-Aiden mutilation.
What's my solos? I have one solo, I think. I think
Okay.
because I watched 2 movies that I didn't get to finish, so I only have 2. Or I only have the one. But it is a good the one. So don't worry, guys.
The one.
The one. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man wrapped its first season.
Wait, I thought we said we're doing singles.
That's singles.
Did you watch it, Beck?
No, you have not watched it, Beck. He has not watched it.
So
Don't listen
So
to him. Don't
did
you
you
guys
watch-
know how I love jumping into random stuff halfway
Oh, I'm
through.
so glad.
I jumped through 80% through.
So this is why you responded to all of my
No,
comments. That
So Aiden said there's 2 crazy twists in this episode, and I kept trying to guess them, and he kept telling me I was wrong. So I'm like, fuck it, I need to watch the show to see what the twist was, and
yeah,
I still can't figure out what it was.
because there was a lot of them. There were a lot of really good twists.
A lot of random ass twists in that last episode.
Well, but
And
is
it's
it
really
random?
good.
Is it random or just you missed most of the show?
He missed the
Who's to
first,
say?
he missed the first
Schrodinger's
episode.
twist.
He missed the first episode, which is crucial to the twist.
No, it's not.
Is the twist that Osborn
It's
isn't
like
actually a
Memento,
good guy?
Aiden. It goes back on itself.
Oh, great. So, Beck, why don't you explain the Scorpion episode and then I'll explain the other one? How about that?
Okay, so we got Peter Parker Spider-Man, and he's finally got the red and the blue and the suit, and he goes to fight the Scorpion, but the 10th Street Gang is also there, and they're fighting the Scorpion. They're going, banana, banana. But then Tombstone, he gets caught in the armory transport vessel, because when Doc Ock was captured, Oscorp got to steal all his technology. But a capsule breaks in the delivery van, and Tombstone gets superhuman strength, and he becomes the Tombstone.
Whoa.
So then he and Spider-Man team up to beat the Scorpion, and then his friend also comes and is like, I forgive you for lying to me, because you have been working hard.
You did forget
and-
about the part where Spider-Man tries to murder the Scorpion.
that was literally my next point.
All right, fine. You say it then.
My
Say it
next
then.
point was Spider-Man is like, Norman Osborn, he says, I'm holding back. You know, it's like that one scene from Invincible, and he like is about to go kill the guy, but then Tombstone is like, no, Spider-Man, don't be like him. And he doesn't kill him. And then they work together and they save the day. And then Norman Osborn is like, we're close to finishing another spider based on Spider-Man's DNA.
No, this is after Spider-Man is like, hey, Norman Osborn. And he's like, yes, Peter, I saw your battle. I'm very proud of you for not killing that guy. And then he hangs up and he's like, oh, Spider-Man, I'm not proud of you for killing that guy. You should have killed that guy. Guards, how is our mysterious bad guy plan going? So the mysterious bad guy plan is going well.
And Aiden, when do we find out about mysterious bad guy plan?
In the next episode, in the finale. So the finale, we start off great. Peter is late to school. And guess what? Nico has his back just to show that they're still friends. And they pass, and then Peter and Pearl pass their thing, and Pearl calls Peter instead of Petey this time. And then all the interns.
Oh, that's why he was shocked by that.
Yes, because
They should have explained that.
So they did actually. It was in the other 8 episodes. So then Peter goes to the internship with the other intern children, and Norman Osborn is like, children, here's what we've been making, a portal to outer space. Don't you like it? And everyone's like, hang on. What the fuck? And Osborn is like, clearly you guys are stupid. Remember in the first episode when that alien showed up? Let's do that again. So then they open the portal and the alien from the first episode shows up. Naturally.
way.
Now,
Why is there an
I found-
alien?
huh?
Why did that? Was there an alien in the first episode though?
I mean,
So
I'm not
that's a
sure.
that's
We
a
don't
great
know.
question, Nicholas. So here's plot twist number 1. Doctor Strange shows up because they opened the portal to the outer space, and he's like, "Guys, what the fuck? Why did you do that?" And Norman's like, "You're what's wrong with the world. You were at the school when it blew up." And he's like, "No, I wasn't. What are you talking about?" But here's what happened. As Doctor Strange fights the alien in the present, they time travel back to the first episode, and the spider that Norman Osborn made with Peter's DNA goes back to the past. So Spider-Man grandfather paradoxes himself into the Spider-Man.
That paradox.
Bootstrap paradoxes himself into Spider-Man. That was a crazy twist, I think. Clearly, Beck didn't understand it because he didn't watch the first episode.
Well, counterpoint. They
Counterpoint.
played a little recap video before the finale, so I think I got all of it.
Okay, great. So Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man through this bootstrap, but then they put it back, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, into the portal back in space. But a little bit of it slips out. Keep that in mind. But Spider-Man, they stop the thing, and Oscorp is kind of done. Peter's like, "Yeah, I'm not working for Oscorp anymore. If only there was some guy who I knew that wanted to create a big science corporation." And Harry's like, "Wait a minute, I'm some guy that you knew that could make a science corporation. Why don't we do that?" So then they make Web, which is a thing in the comics, but I'm not really. It's like a science
It's
thing.
from the Disneyland, right?
Sure is. So then they start that up, and Harry messages all the characters, which is very cool. And then Peter goes up to Doctor Strange. He's like, "Hey, Doctor Strange, isn't it destiny that I'm Spider-Man?" He's like, "I don't know." And then he leaves, and then we see the Watcher, and that's very cool that we see him from What If.
Because it's what if.
Because it's What If.
And Beck, how
And
is
Norm-
this for you?
Like this episode?
Well, hold
I
on.
was just
Let's finish
Yeah.
it because we have like 5 plot twists in just a second. Then,
Yeah.
so after Peter talks to Doctor Strange, Norman goes to the wreckage of the destroyed thing, but he sees a little black goop running around. Venom! Venom! So maybe in the next season we'll have Norman as Venom, which would be pretty interesting considering he kind of wants to have his own Spider-Man. So him kind of having a Spider-Man-esque kind of thing is cool. And considering we don't have like a Flash Thompson or an Eddie Brock, like I think it could work pretty well if he is like even a mix of Venom. If he's like a mix of Venom and Goblin, that'd be kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. That's like
That'd
I
be
don't think
kinda
I've seen that
cool.
before. That's really cool.
No. So we have that. We have Nico using magic to speak to her dead mom.
Obviously.
We have Finesse and Daredevil.
So wait, did we know that the girl was working with Daredevil before? Or was that a twist?
Daredevil,
well,
say that again.
Well, if you look up her name on Google, you will find that she is Finesse and usually works with Daredevil. So yes, technically, but not really.
Inconclusive.
Inconclusive. We have Lonnie who's talking to his mom. He's like, "Don't worry, mom, I'm gonna join the Harry Osborn club." And then he throws his varsity jacket in the garbage as he drives away with the gang. And his fingers are peeling off to reveal gray skin underneath. So he's just gone.
No.
So Lonnie's just gone, which is really sad. I'm sad to see that because Lonnie was a really good character.
Yeah,
What else
because
happened?
I forgot to mention this, but the gang leader in the other episode just dipped and left all his men
Big Don
behind.
did just run away. And then we have Doc Ock in prison, and he paints some octopus arms, so he'll definitely come back as like a main villain or as like a bigger threat. And then we end it with Aunt May goes to the prison and talks to not who do we think, guys? Who do we think that Aunt May goes to prison to talk to?
The Green
Craven.
Goblin.
Peter's father.
He's alive.
What?
He's
That's
alive.
that's crazy.
And guess who he's voiced by?
Peter Osborne.
No.
Bryan
He's
Cranston.
voiced. No, he's voiced by.
Aquafina.
No, he's voiced by Josh,
Chris Pratt.
the guy
No.
that voices Peter in the Spectacular Spider-Man show.
How does the
Oh,
dad
that's
look?
cool.
I don't know. He looks like a white guy. But that's the other twist: is that Peter's
Well, Beck, you
dad is
couldn't
alive.
understand. You don't know that Beck. I don't know if you understood this, but in most canon, Spider-Man parents are dead, so you don't understand
Yeah.
the twist that they.
His
Thanks.
dad didn't show up in previous
And
episodes.
Aunt
did he?
May.
No, he did not show up in previous episodes.
Well, I feel like
Sorry.
I got a good understanding because Aiden gave good recaps throughout each of the episodes, so I knew kind of all the characters. So, I mean,
But would you go back and finish the show?
No.
I mean,
Okay.
by far, Aiden is the best recapper on the Celsius podcast.
I
Thank you,
think
Harry.
Beck, you
my
are the worst
Mizar
one.
recap was amazing.
Yeah. It is.
I don't know.
Oh, see, Nicola is also
I
pretty
agree.
good.
Nicola does
Um,
the longest.
Nicola
ones.
does
He does the
long
longest
recaps.
one.
That's because I go in depth. I give all the details.
Beck
does
does
give
the
all the
worst
details.
I'm trying to give-
recaps.
I'm
It
trying
sounds
to
like
give
a
the
child
supplement.
thinking of something he's telling his mom.
I'm trying to give the supplement to the audience so that they don't actually have to watch the property and they can just listen to my review.
Oh, of course. But anyway, I do
Speaking
think
of which, I
No,
watched all
we're
of
not
this.
done. We're not done, bro. Anyways, I think that season 1 really ended off like amazingly. I think they did a really good job
Did they
wrapping.
finally fix the animation by the end?
So Beck, what did you think of the animation? I'll have
Did
you answer
not
that
like
question.
the animation.
Yeah, the
It looked like
It
animation's
was
not good.
very annoying to watch.
It was very annoying to watch. There was a part during the scorpion fight that I thought my computer was stuttering. No, it just looked like
yeah,
that.
no, the time it was like lagging like that was so dumb.
It just looked like that. But rest of the show really good. Excited for season 2 and season 3. We have art of Gwen Stacy, or not Gwen, Gwen Spider-Gwen.
Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. We have art of her and as Spider-Gwen for season 2. Hopefully she's not like an intrusive character or not. I hope she's not a Spider-Man. I hope she's a more one-off character that just kind of
Doesn't
looks
she
up to
have
Spider-
a Spider-Man suit?
Well, okay, she has a Spider-Man suit. That doesn't necessarily
Isn't
mean
her
she
name
has spider
literally
powers.
Spider Gwen?
Oh,
Okay.
true.
Shut the fuck
So
up,
I
bro.
feel like she's gonna have spider powers. I don't know. That's a small inkling. Small inkling.
A small
She has a
inkling.
suit. She has a name.
No, what
probably
I'm saying is hopefully she's more of like a character that sees Peter and looks up to him and tries to be a Spider-Man without any of the powers.
and then she
I
gets
think-
herself killed.
Hopefully, because I don't want to see her. I want to see Venom.
Gwen
in the next
Stacy
season.
famously never dies.
She never
Correct. Gwen
dies.
Sta-
She never
Gwen Stacy-
dies.
and she's not Gwenpool, except for now she is. So that's really cool. That's something
Anyway,
they're doing in the
next property.
And Beck, you really liked the show and you wish you would have watched all of it?
No.
Mm-mm.
I don't-
Coward.
You're a coward, Beck.
I think the show was funny for me to watch the ending as a bit, but I probably won't watch any of it.
That's terrible. That's terrible to hear, considering it's very good.
Okay, well, speaking of other superhero
So
content.
nobody else has watched anything by themselves?
No, unless you want to
Okay.
talk about Dexter, which I'm not allowing you to do. So
No,
We're not
I-
allowing you to talk about
I-
Dexter any
I-
longer.
I haven't finished season 5 or 6 yet. So
No, you can only talk about Dexter when you start New
I-
Blood.
start New Blood and Original Sin.
guys, there's so much Dexter content for a show that's only so-so.
It's not so. It's actually goated, and I was just sleeping on it, and now I'm not.
So guys, what do you guys think about Invincible's animation this season?
I think it's fine, and everybody that's pointing out tiny for errors in like one frame of the entire episode are insane.
I mean, I never thought Invincible was like that great animated wise. Like it's like
But if you look at the difference from
sounds-
now compared to the beginning
Yeah,
of the show,
it
it's
does-
vastly different. It's just so much better.
yeah, but
It has gotten so much better.
but I always really love the hyper realistic style of the comics.
Yeah.
And that's always really because in the comics they make it feel so visceral, everything. But in the show, it's missing a bit of that, I think. But I think it's pretty solid. I think people. I just wondering because I see a lot of hate for the animation. I always think it's overblown.
I genuinely don't understand where all this hate is coming from because I have no issues with the animation.
Yeah, so they reused Debbie and made her brown. So who cares?
Animators do that all the time. They reuse assets. Like, it's not that deep.
What do you think, Beck?
You're the
Yeah,
animator.
I mean, I feel like I've started just noticing bad animation more just because like I watched like Invincible and I was just like looking out for like animation
The worst
stuff like
thing
that.
was just the staircase scene in the first episode.
That was they should never have let that
I don't
go
know why
through.
they did that. That was actually the worst animation moment of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I haven't had any other issues with the animation.
Well, let's
And this Thursday, we're getting Powerplex voiced by Aaron Paul. So
let's talk about this episode. Which
the
I'm gonna
next
be
3
honest,
episodes are
guys.
actually going to
This
be-
episode was kind of a
this
fillery.
felt like a filler. That's why I said
I feel like the last two have been filler.
But I understand why they did that because the next 3 episodes are all going to be really heavy hitting episodes back to back to back.
Yeah, and that's
Like, the
fine to have a
next 3
little
weeks are gonna
respite
be
in the
really
season.
So I can understand why they did, but they were like really filler episodes.
Like
Like
I
I understand, and I was like, this is filler. I'm like,
I
this is
don't
really
give a
good.
shit about
for that.
Titan. I don't give a shit about Titan.
Oh yeah, this was the Titan episode. That fucking
The little
did
dragon lead.
not.
It's like they make it seem like it's so important. Let's talk about it. Like so. Essentially, Titan needs to get Multipole out of prison, but he doesn't want to. And then like he gets Robot Head to help him, and then like he wants Invincible to help him, but then he actually puts Invincible into his plans, and there's an old guy in charge of like sort of a mafia Asian guy, like the Yakuza or something, and the guy turns into a dragon. And then he fights Invincible, but then Invincible, he almost gets defeated by the dragon, but then they get rid of the original body of the guy, so they win. I don't know, it just felt very sort of like kind of boring and sort of like tasteless.
Earth could be getting destroyed by Galactus, and Mark would be holding back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
no.
this-
I was literally thinking
138
like this is him at like after all the training. It felt like he was like
138%
insanely
stronger
weak.
by ass. He's acting like he's weaker than his brother.
Yeah. Mark is
He's still
just
getting bodied by the Mauler twins when the fucking Mauler twins got bodied by Oliver, who is literally weaker than Mark at this point of the show.
yeah, it's
So
like
I'm like,
it's
what? Why is he
I think it's the idea of he underestimates himself.
Yeah, maybe.
And like
He just
he's
really
not
doesn't-
willing because he's still stuck in that mind frame that he's not willing to go as hard as he can. And it always takes more and more for him to take that level. But yeah, I mean, I think it was like an okay episode. We got to see more connection between Adam, Eve, and Mark. I don't know what else really happened in this episode that much. I don't know, it just felt pretty
It was like also Oliver made friends,
yeah, and so like
and that was about
Yeah.
it. Oliver was like, I heard even Mark fucking,
yeah,
and that was like the opening of the episode.
He did say that.
they
But
were
then next episode
smashing
we're gonna have
Adams.
Power Flux, and we're splitting Eve's Adam. Yeah.
Yeah. But
So next episode we're getting Powerplex, then Invincible War, then Conquest. So 3 big episodes back to back.
yeah, and we're getting something that's kind of cool. We're definitely we're getting a romantic tingling between Ray and Rex, and that's pretty.
I know.
Yeah, I
not-
mean, it's like I feel like it's more than a tingling at this point. They're
No,
like,
yeah,
I think that was the only part of the
romantic
episode I
is-
really enjoyed seeing
I
their
mean, these
connection.
characters are getting so much screen time that, and they're like becoming some of like fan favorites.
Yeah.
Like they're such good characters.
is the was the scene where they went shopping last episode? Or
Yeah, it
this
was last episode.
It was last
Because
episode.
I feel like they should have those two scenes in the same episode.
But
Yeah,
I do,
but I
find
think
it
they're trying to
interesting
split
that
it
they
up so
did
we can see
decide
more
to
of them.
keep- because didn't Shrinking Ray in the comics die in like the silo? she didn't or he in the comics, it's a guy. They never brought them back. They never healed
No,
them.
but in the show they brought them back.
In the show, it's a girl, and they came back. So they're like basically everything with them is now like made for the show.
Yeah, and
Everything
that's
is
pretty
like-
cool when a show can like change its source material to fit sort of the way they present it. Because I'm really enjoying. I think that was I think that's the part of the show that I'm really enjoying. Ray and Rex right now, at least this episode. I mean, the rest of it was kind of okay, but I'm never really into the Titan plotline that much. It felt just kind of like random things, but I do understand they need respite before because I think once the show gets to a point where it's all just really heavy canon stuff, I think it's going to get better. But I'm going to say Invincible has always kind of had this problem of not knowing how much to lean in either direction. Like they give us like a taste of the really good stuff, but then like they give us a lot of like sometimes filler stuff, which is a problem with the show.
Yeah.
But I do understand it's building up, but I wish they could manage it more economically in more interesting ways. Because like I don't think we even got like Nolan Allen seen this episode, did we?
Yeah. We didn't. I actually just remembered one solo thing I have.
Yeah. Oh way.
Episode 1 of season 2 of Silo.
No,
Oh,
no. You talk about
no.
Silo.
Yeah.
No, I need to
Finish.
say this.
You talked about Silo enough in season 1.
I need to say this because I am not going to watch the rest of the season.
Why?
Oh, thank
Because-
God. Oh, thank God.
This shit was ass.
Why? Did they get out of the silo?
It's just too boring, man. This episode basically takes place right where season 1 ended. So basically, it begins with like a flashback of another vault, another silo, where the people are revolting and they try to get outside of the silo and they open the vault and then everybody dies because we found out at the end of last season that the outside world actually isn't green and beautiful. It actually is deadly.
Yeah, what a twist.
So our protagonist from last season is in her suit because she survived, and she stumbles into this new vault and she has to climb over this like mount, this like it's like a massive area filled with dead bodies that she has to climb over and through to get into the new silo. And she gets into the new silo, and she's like, okay, what the hell do I do now? And she like basically finds a new set of clothes and is like realizes that she has some light on this other side of the bridge that had been destroyed. So she tries to get across the bridge. Like half the episode is her just trying to get across a fucking bridge.
And this is Rebecca.
So first,
This is Rebecca Ferguson, who plays the mother in
it's
Dune.
the same person that's the mom in Dune. Yeah. Well, she first makes a bridge that's not really strong. So then she's walking across it, falls off, and luckily there's water at the bottom of the vault of the silo. So she falls into the water, and she goes back up. Then she finds better materials and makes a better bridge. And she goes across and she finds
Why did you just stay in the silo?
Because there's like no food or stuff out there. And then she knocks on the door, and somebody opens the door with the two different eye colors. And he says, hey, are you knocking on the door? And she's like, yeah. She's like, and he's like, do that again and I'll kill you. And he closes the door. And then
He
that's
does it
like how
again?
that's how the episode ends. And I'm like, it's just not
Nicola,
interesting.
They got once they leave the silo, the show is over.
Exactly. There's no reason for the show to continue anymore. Though I did look a little bit at the Wikipedia just to see what happens in each episode. All I know is that there's going to be a season 3 and 4, and the ending of the episode is basically a flashback saying that everything happened because Iran detonated a dirty bomb in New York, and then the U.S.
Is this based off a
retaliated.
book?
Maybe. I don't know. All I know is it's a post-nuclear world. So
Well, let's talk about the better
do-
Apple TV.
I do love hearing the like explanations for how the world went post-apocalypse. I might
Yeah,
just
that's always cool.
look at the Wikipedia for that.
Yeah, it's always cool because
So,
like Fallout, we
let's
know
talk about
about.
a better show on Apple TV.
Yeah. Let's talk about. So, Nicola, you finally catched up on
I
Severance.
came around. I watched all of Severance because I found out I had Apple TV, and then before I could finish Severance, my dad canceled it. So I'm not going to.
Don't worry, guys. I got Apple TV today. So
No, can
So you can watch Severance.
I get the login?
No, no,
I need to know what happens.
no.
You guys gotta give
So, Nicola
in-depth-
discovered a peak television
in-depth-
show.
It's a
So
slow
they have a
build.
lot of sex.
Yes, that's season 2. Basically, the sex update.
The
So,
sex
Nicola, did you watch
update?
episode 6?
I've watched the entire show. Yes,
Okay, so he's caught up.
I fully caught up. That's what I was doing instead of watching Silo season 2.
So, Nicola, you can see how this is an amazing show.
It is a very good show. I think it had a slow build up in the beginning.
But yeah, it's pretty
But
good. So
it's really good. I could not imagine having finished season 1 and having to wait years for a season 2. The cliffhanger they leave you on is insane. I could not imagine having to wait years to find out the resolution.
Yeah, that's what we had to do.
Yeah.
Losers.
Uri more than me.
yeah,
I
But
had to
you
wait like
know,
1 year.
it was like a
what's
year and a half
interesting
for
is
me.
that the show creator, what's his name?
Dan Erickson.
Stiller.
The guy, he has like he knows what the ending is. He
Yeah,
has the
Ben Stiller
entire
knows.
thing. Ben Stiller has the entire thing. They just aren't telling the actors, and they're actually also filming it not in order, so that like they don't come up with any ideas or like can't find out.
Yeah. I mean, the show balances mystery so well. I say this every time we've
It's such good suspense. Every episode like poses more questions than it answers.
answers and then it poses, which is really good. And this episode was more of like I'm thinking the next sort of 4-ish episodes are going to build up
This
more
episode
intensely.
is really, I think this was like the love triangle episode,
Yeah.
basically.
And so this episode brought up 2 really interesting factors. Where essentially was this episode where they flooded his brain?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one
They
he
flood his
goes
brain-
fully unsevered.
On his brain, he has sex with the real Heliar.
And so, but let's talk about it. So essentially, in this episode, it's a very. So I'm saying this episode and last episode, they're more low key episodes, but they all really bring the idea of relationships. This episode, which is really cool. Like
this is like a really big
every
relationship
character
episode.
has an interesting relationship, and because like the way they do it, like they create relationships in a way that have never been done before because of the idea of innies and outies. And essentially, this episode,
Yeah.
each character has some sort of relationship issue or problem. Where essentially, let's start off with I think the lower rung of the stories. Irving is going to go to meet Bert, and
Everything is gone. But that actually, no, I don't think that's that minor because that is a pretty
it's pretty
big
important.
plot point right now. Because so far what we've seen is Bert and Irving have had the relationship inside.
Yeah.
Like their innies have had the relationship. Now Bert has been fired because he drowned Helena.
That was Irving.
Irving.
Bert was
Did
also
I say- yeah,
fired.
Irving, yeah. Bert, but that was like some separate reason. Irving was fired because he drowned Helena. And he then his Audi is like trying to put the pieces together, and he's like, why did I wake
Pieces
up?
Was it difficult?
Yeah.
And
So
then
he woke up, yeah, and he's trying to. So he gets invited to a dinner party.
with Bert and his husband Fields, and I really assumed Fields
But
was going
the
to
thing
be.
is, the dinner party's a ruse so that Fields could go through Bert's stuff. I mean, what's the stuff? What's his name? Irving stuff at his house.
Yeah, it was. And I really thought Fields was going to. They're like, I think Bert and Fields are definitely working for Lumen. I thought Fields was going to be.
That's the whole thing. Like they say, oh, but Bert has been working at Lumen for 20 years, but Severance has only existed for 12 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he definitely works there. He could be like
Part of my idea is like he
could
was
be
with
the
one of
dad. I'm not
people.
sure.
What do you mean he could be the dad?
Like the
Kier.
Heliar's dad. Yeah,
Well, we've seen
Heliar's dad.
We've seen Kier.
we have.
We've seen him like
Yes.
twice.
Remember in the bathroom? It's the old white guy with white hair.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking
Okay.
stupid.
But I
This
mean,
guy doesn't even
I-
love
I-
you.
Was
but-
that end of season 1?
It's the end of season 1. Also in season 2, we've seen him.
Yeah. I really thought Fields was going to be someone we knew.
Yeah.
But he's not. But we get a lot of really interesting backstory. So they're like, what's interesting is that
They're like
So,
religious zealots.
they're
basically.
religious, but essentially Bert did some bad things in his past, and one day Fields asked, "Do you think you're going to go to heaven?" And he knew that no, I'm not going to heaven. So it kind of makes you think that not only he wasn't just like some troubled young teenager, he did some bad shit.
But I mean, I think it all ties back to the 4 embers. I think because we've seen constantly everything ties to the 4 embers. Kier tamed the 4 embers, and that's like constantly reminded to us. And we see in the work they're doing, when they're sorting the numbers, it goes into the boxes, and each of the 4 like stuff it sorts into responds to the 4 tempers. Each character, each of the innies also kind of responds to each of the 4 tempers.
Yeah.
I think my main theory, you guys have probably said something like this today. My theory is that they are sorting the tempers to be able to, so that Lumen can better understand the human soul and learn to control it. Because I think Project Cold Harbor is basically them trying to create like permanent innies.
That's a pretty
And
good theory.
that's kind of the thing. Because another theory I saw this theory like online, where the whole thing with the goats brains are very similar to human brains. So some theory I saw is that Gemma actually did die in that car crash, and her brain has been replaced with the goat brain, so that she's now permanently an innie. This is unironic.
This is fucking crazy.
Is that her brain has been replaced by a goat brain, so now she's permanently an innie. So Lumen is trying to learn how to resurrect people and to turn them into permanent workers for themselves.
Yeah, that's a pretty good theory. But I really want to break down what happened relationship wise in this episode. Essentially, I think because like you kind of get to see what's really cool in the dinner scene is that Bert and Irving are half lit on their faces, showing how they both have like 2 sides, while Fields is fully lit on his face because he doesn't have an innie, which is really
There's
cool.
so many random cool shots they have, like that one where they're talking in the bathroom and it's like we see Helly on the left and then Helly in the mirror on the right. So there was like that contrast there.
Out the show is that constantly the most expected thing you can, like the thing that you can most expect is that the exact opposite of what they tell you is true.
Yeah.
So some other stuff that theories I saw is that maybe Milchick is a permanent innie, because we're told that he's always an outie. So maybe like the theory is it's the exact opposite. He's actually always an innie.
Yeah,
That's the big thing.
That's pretty good.
Well. The Milchick stuff, he's practicing to.
But you also see Milchick, he's also becoming like, he's having a very hard time right now. Because like, we see something he says like to Miss Huang, he says, you have to grow out of your childish folly. And then later in the mirror, he says, he's realizing, because one of his critiques that he got in the performance review is that you use so many highbrow words. So he just says grow.
Which is definitely an allegory for, yeah. It's definitely like an allegory for how Black people are like put down in the office, even if they're smarter than others, because people feel intimidated by it.
Because what's really cool about this season is the first season you didn't really feel it, but you really feel sort of the blackness of Mr. Milchick's character in this season, and like that's pretty cool because like it's using the show to explain racial dynamics, which is I found really interesting.
Yeah.
And so we get to see that. I think one of the most interesting storylines they're doing this season is the fact that Dylan's wife is preferring spending time with his innie than his outie, and she lied to the outie about spending time with him.
And I feel like part of like this kind of ties back to my theory of them trying to make permanent innies. I feel like Lumen is trying to maybe even trying to push the wife to become an innie so that she can spend time with Dylan's innie. Stuff like that.
I feel like the reason that I think the only reason that he was brought in was to make sure that Dylan could keep working, which was basically just to keep Mark working. Because there's definitely something special about Mark where they only need him. They don't need the other one. They just need Mark.
And that's why
Mark would only work with the other people.
I think it ties into Jenna, honestly.
Yeah. And
because he needs to work on it and his work is so important.
Yeah. And but we're seeing how Dylan, I think they're gonna try and make a hard decision this season where Dylan's gonna have to choose between his wife and helping the team Mark.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing a confliction of interests. We're also seeing how his wife, she's lost love for outie Dylan, and she really prefers.
Outie Dylan is kind of a fuck up. He's very depressed. He isn't really doing anything.
And it gives the most interesting take on the idea of cheating. You know, like cheating with someone who is themselves.
But like, yeah, we have a lot of cheating, like especially with like the Bert stuff.
And that kind of ties to like do innies have their own souls?
Which ties back to like, because they were really religious, so innies go to heaven and they're like, I could still be with him, which is a really fascinating concept because like obviously it makes no sense, but it's like interesting that that's a belief they really hold on to.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason.
And we get to see that. And then I think the most complex part of this episode, so essentially he tells her that he had sex with Helena, and she feels really sad about that, Heliar,
Mark
because she
does,
wants her
yeah.
own memory. And
So they
something
kind of
that's
fight
really
it.
cool is that so they do it, and like she's actually it's someone he's really because it's much different lighting than the scene with Helena. In the
What
tent.
I really like as well about this show is that where other shows would have these characters fight and then like be at odds for multiple episodes, they're able to have these characters like come back together in a single episode.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah, they like solve their personal issues pretty quickly.
Like
Yeah.
the characters actually talk to each other and solve their issues.
But what's really cool, I was gonna say about the scene, because like with Helena, he had sex with her, and like Ted, it was like blue light, and it looked so like magical. But with Helly, even though it was more sterile and like sort of like a hidden space, it was like much more fluorescent. Like it was a realer connection. It was more authentic.
And even like the camera action was like more intimate.
Yeah. And so we're seeing that, and then he's like, he can't like Mark. He's like, he doesn't want to do the flooding, so he's like, decides he's just gonna go eat, and then
Then Helena tracks him down.
and Helena is, I think, Britt
like,
Lauer.
The owner of the company, Mark.
Helena plays Britt Lauer plays Helena and Helly so magnificently wonderful, because like I would actually say there's 3 sort of Helena / Hellys. We got the Helly R, who's the innie. We got sort of like the company owner, like very cold, tear focused Audi.
Helena.
But then we got the Helena who really wants the warmth
Who's
of
rebellious.
Mark, and really
Because the thing is, the innies are reflections of the Audis.
Yeah.
They are basically like the raw forms of the Audis if they could express themselves without restraint.
Yeah.
Which is why we can see like Mark Innie is like happy and more joyful because he isn't restrained by his sadness.
He's not burdened by the sadness.
Yeah.
and so we all,
Dylan isn't restrained by his depression. Irving isn't is also kind of similar in his vein, like where he's also just kind of living by himself. And then Helena is able to live like Helen is able to be rebellious and stuff compared to Helena. But Helena is also always wants to be rebellious, and that's kind of what she's doing through Mark.
yeah, and it's like when she goes up to him, because Helly is such like an easy speaker and free, but when Helena is like talking to Mark, she's so awkward, and she's so like she can't talk well at all, and like she tries to like be sort of an intimidating figure, and like because obviously Mark knows who she is on the outside, but like
I don't know. He was like low key really flirting with him.
yeah, but she's like still
was kind
so
of the fun.
awkward, you know.
Yeah, because I don't think she's ever like she clearly said she's never done it before.
Yeah, and so you see how like you actually feel really sad for Helena.
Yeah.
And like she's like so like she's stuck in this mindset when she really wants to be Helly R.
Yeah. But we also see that she tells at the end of the conversation, she basically talks about his dead wife, and she misnames her. She says what? She says Hannah. No, it's Jenna. Yeah, whatever. And that pushes Mark to
Yeah,
actually do the flooding.
because
But I feel like that's also she was trying to manipulate him as well to try to like almost like not even like no, I think it was more like she was testing him to see if he still remembers.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
this.
And then we get this thing where it's all, I think also Severance is also the idea of not dealing with your emotions. Like he says like the idea of like the 5 stages, and this is sort of bargaining, but you can actually get her back this time. And we also get the implication that maybe Mark before Severance, he was a drinker because he said I would have drank less. And so maybe he feels I might have had trouble in his relationship with Gemma.
Yeah, I saw a theory that's like maybe even he was responsible for Jenna's death. Maybe
Yeah.
he was driving drunk.
Yeah. And so we're seeing it's kind of an idea for the 5 stages of grief, which is really cool because like Severance can represent so many things, like your inner self, like capitalism, the work-life balance. There's so many things it can represent, which is such a cool concept. And so then he decides to fully, flood the thing and get it out. And so we're gonna see how that sort of kind
And
of
yeah,
plays
so
out
part
next
of the-
episode.
He floods it. He
Yeah.
needs to, and he's feeling kind of woozy. But then his sister comes to the door, so she's like, "Oh, we have to come up with other stuff to do because the burning of the retina." He's like, "Oh, I'm already figuring out something else," and then he falls to the floor. And then that also means the sister finds out about the doctor or whatever.
Reintegration.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know, this show is like it just gets me.
Something I found really interesting about the reintegration, though, is that they don't really ask the consent of the innies. It's still kind of neglecting the innie.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's kind of like
Because
having a
they kinda
child, you know?
They merge the two people, but in a way, both personalities are kind of destroyed.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
you
merge
just create
them.
No,
one.
I think a new one is created, like the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't
again,
say they're like completely
not
destroyed.
the same two people.
Yeah, I think you get the feelings about. It's really interesting because like with PD, he died before we got a full like reintegration of him because he. But we're seeing with
Because we
Mark,
saw in one of the early episodes that Mark had to be drinking that like really weird yellow, like pulpy juice.
it was my semen, Nicola.
Oh, I see.
All right,
Yeah.
bro.
But no, yeah, no, I think it's really cool, and they're leaving up like the next 4 episodes are going to be really good. I think it's like now we're in like the full last sort of half of the season, which it should be exciting. And like, there's so many things going on, and I don't think we'll understand the bigger mysteries of the show because I see this like probably having like at least a season 3 or 4. So
I
exciting.
think it already has been greenlit for season 3 and 4.
Yeah. But
I just really don't want them stretching it out like too far.
yeah, I don't see it doing that. They've always
how long
they
it
seem
take.
to be economical with their storytelling.
Yeah, but I definitely see what you guys mean by this was this is one of the best shows on television right now.
Do we finally talk about the monkey?
I think we can finally talk about the
Oh,
monkey.
No, we talk about
Monkey.
that last because that's all of us. We need to talk about win or lose first.
You watched that?
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about. completely forgot. Yeah,
Yeah,
that show's fire.
it's actually pretty good so far, guys. So win or lose is the new Pixar show. They just like original show this time. It's not.
been like announced for like 5 years.
It's literally been like
We're just
literally since Disney Plus. Since the announcement of Disney Plus was when it was announced, I think. So it's been a long time. And
All
the
right, do you
premise
want to
is-
do episode 1 and I do episode 2?
Yeah, because episode 2 is called Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so episode 1, so basically the premise of this episode of the show is that we see all these characters 1 week before the big like final game of the baseball tournament. And they're all related to this baseball tournament in some way. So the first episode is the coach's daughter. So the coach's daughter, she's stuck at baseball.
No.
And you know, she's really stressed and she's really anxious.
And hot?
She's like 5.
Oh.
He is
So-
like 5.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I have to
but her-
go.
But her stress and anxiety turns into this little sludge monster.
Does
Could
she
you
have the
see-
emotion anxiety running in her head right now?
No, she has it.
He has a
crawling out-
manifestation of anxiety.
man, yeah, who crawls around on her body and tells her, "Hey, you suck at things. You should get better at things because you suck." And over the course of the week, as she's not really improving, and then she injures one of the best players, she has
This
pretty.
just
She's
sounds
pretty
like
much
Inside Out too.
no, she pretty much can't do anything until her dad is like, "Hey, sport, what's wrong? You need to open up." And then she's like, "Oh, I need to open up. Okay."
And
then
she rips her chest open.
and then she jumps in front of the ball. But we don't see what happens when she jumps in front of the ball because that's the beginning of the next episode.
So, episode 2, Blue. Now, this is about the umpire of the game who's also a teacher at the school. And he is like wearing this full like defensive set of armor because it's like he's trying to like protect himself from like feeling like emotions and criticism. But turns out the armor was bad because it didn't leave him open to his like girlfriend who wanted to have kids or wife. I don't know if
She
they were
wanted
married or
to
not.
get she wanted to get married.
Oh, she wanted to get married. Okay, she wanted to get married, and then he couldn't follow through because he was too defensive. So they broke up, and now he's sad. And then he goes and he tries flirting with a barista, and the barista's like, "Oh, dude, I wasn't flirting with you. I was just trying to give you coffee." And he fucking dies of cringe. And then eventually the janitor at the school is like, "I'm gonna put you on this dating app, and
He's also
it'll be
French.
cool." He's also French. So he goes on the dating app, he finds this girl, and they work it out, and they get a really good connection. And eventually they're like, "Hey, maybe do you want to meet up this weekend?" But then he realizes, "I think I miss my wife."
I think I
and
missed
he
my
goes,
Omni Man.
yeah, he basically did the Omni Man, and then he goes and he runs to go meet up with his wife and confess his love to her, but she has a ring on and is now getting married to someone else. So now he's insanely depressed for the game. And the girl in the first episode gets hit with a ball, collapses to the ground. He says, "Safe." And that's how the episode ends. Because I don't know if you guys have ever like played baseball, but you're not supposed to say safe when someone gets hit with a ball. You're supposed to say strike or out.
You don't say strike or out. You don't say either.
Yes, you say
No,
strike
getting
when,
hit by the ball is an automatic walk unless you step in front of the ball, which she did. She did jump in front of the ball.
Hmm. Okay, well that was win or lose.
But but
Oh.
so far, show has been good. I'm excited to see where we head. Who do you think the next episode is going to be about?
Okay, well from the poster,
Oh, is there a poster that has all the characters on
the
it?
poster has all 8 of them, I remember. I think it's the poster on Letterboxd. Has all 8 of them.
Is it this one here? Okay, let me see. Let's see.
So the next one, I think, is the coach.
Oh, because that's how it looks like on the poster.
Yeah. 'Cause it
Okay,
seems
yeah,
like
I
it's
knew.
going.
I knew we were gonna get one of the boy, because he already had some stuff set up. Well, just based on the intro, you can see all of there's a pan right before the big game the first time where I think we see all the characters right before. Like we see the guy crying in his car, we see the coach, we see like the mom, we see the boy, we see all these characters that are on the poster like doing their own thing, which is I think a good way to set up like what we're gonna see moving forward. But I think yeah. Out of these ones, I think
It's weird because I only think 4 of them are actually on the team.
yeah, which is interesting. Cause what we have the mascot, one of the parents, the coach, and the umpire.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is I guess cool to see like everything that's going on. Although exciting to see what is gonna happen with the dad because I think it's gonna be about divorce.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Which
coach seems like a really good guy.
Yeah, but the way they're tying all of the stories together at the same time, like having them all be interconnected is really cool.
Yeah, like the mom shows up to the principal's office meeting, so we're probably gonna see her perspective of that in her episode.
Yeah.
I really like just seeing like the same week from all these different perspectives. I feel like
Yeah.
that's really interesting.
I don't know if are there other shows that do something like this?
There's like movies like Hoodwinked does that, and like Rashomon does that.
Okay, Rashomon does not do that. Rashomon and Hoodwinked do something very different where they fucking lie.
They don't lie. What do you mean they lie?
It's the same sequence over and over again, except they are lying.
What?
Except they're lying back.
No. What?
Yep, they lie the whole time.
None of them lie in the story.
They lie. Rashomon is
Okay.
all about who is lying. That's the
Okay,
entire
then-
movie.
Hoodwinked is not about who's lying.
What is Hoodwinked about?
Hoodwinked is about 4 people telling their sides of the story, but turns out it was the bunny the whole time, not any of those 4.
Okay, so they were all also lying.
Yeah, but I don't know
No,
if
they
you
were not
understand.
lying. They were just deceived by the bunny.
Okay.
Some would say hoodwinked by the bunny.
So someone's getting thrown off a cliff again, and it's not me.
And then also randomly, this just popped into my head. Another movie that did that I just randomly watched with my mom on Netflix one day. I just went in halfway through and it was really interesting. It was like a presidential assassination, but again from just 4 different perspectives, and I thought that was
Interesting.
really cool.
But
yeah,
I can't think of
I-
anything like that. Like the only thing I could think of is like Cloud Atlas, but that's just like 4. That's like 6 different like of the same lineage. But we see what they're all doing. I would recommend watching it. It's cool. It's a good movie.
But what
Is
if
it
you
better
saw
than
me?
Monsters at Work?
So far, yes.
Wait, but is it better than
Yeah.
a second ice cold root beer?
Whoa.
yeah, I think this show is really
And
good. I'm
a
so
Jell-O
excited to
cup.
watch it week by week.
Well, that's
Yeah.
I might catch on because like the first real Pixar animated show, like actually looking like
Yeah.
Pixar quality, right?
Yeah, this one actually like Monsters at Work has this like low budget feeling to it, and season 2 is even worse,
Yeah,
I think.
but this actually looks like a movie.
Yeah. This one actually is a movie.
Well, it's good. That's why it took so long to make, I think, and to get
Yeah.
out. But let's talk about
And
the
the episodes are short, like only wait, what are we talking about?
Say that again.
You guys hear that?
My
Is it-
name is
It's a
Edwin.
drum
I
beat.
made the mimic.
fact you're gonna get us demonetized with your copyright.
My
Like
name
the
is Edwin.
monkey.
Okay, so guys, let's talk about this movie, The Monkey.
The
Also in theater,
monkey.
guys, seeing this in theater, I was kind of was very funny actually,
Oh,
It's
like
it's
gonna-
a funny movie.
because there
Yeah,
was
it
this
was not a horror.
there was this fucking
was not a horror
couple
movie.
behind me, and I just could not stop staring at the couple. Like they noticed.
That's creepy.
they
that's-
noticed me
Come
looking
on,
at
bro.
them.
They're good. They're gonna like fucking report you.
I should have brought your own drum set and looked at them and just started drumming every time the monkey started drumming.
Yeah,
no,
no,
it
bro
should've
was like,
started-
you want to have a date night?
Started beating your drum anytime you looked at them.
So there was this so this movie is made by the guy who made Long Legs. And
Yeah,
so
he did direct that.
and so this is based off the
Long
Steven.
Legs was a lot more horror, right?
No, it was more
Yeah.
dramatic
Not
horror. This
fair.
was stupid horror.
No, this
Yeah,
wasn't
this was
even
like
horror.
comedy.
This was a comedy. This
Yeah,
was
no-
just a comedy
no.
where people died.
No, honestly, I'm seeing this thing like it's like he wanted to make this much more like funny. Like Long Legs wanted to make a dramatic thing, but for the monkey, just this stupid type of fun thing, and I think he succeeded on that. I mean, this
I think
movie.
it was literally a comedy movie where
You're my
people died
brother,
briefly.
which means my mother is your mother.
I guess I
We
didn't
j-
think
we
about
need
it
to
like
make
that.
up.
No, it's just it's so much.
I was
this
so
movie-
confused though when the older brothers were played by the same actor.
Yeah.
This
I
movie.
was just confused. I just wanted to point that out.
This movie was just like just so fun. I mean, it's stupid as hell, but it was just so fun watching it. It was like a great comedy. I think I do have some gripes. I feel like the movie it's a bit unfinished. It feels like they kind of cut it before like one more thing had to happen, I think.
Yeah, one more thing felt like it should happen.
Like, I
problem with it that that I had is that it didn't feel like it committed fully to the concept, and also after the time skip, it just got way less interesting.
Yeah,
And
it
way
was
less
so much more
funny.
fun in the kid
It
world.
was
Yeah,
so
the
funny
first half
anytime
of
it
the mo-
match cut to the funerals.
Yes,
Those were the
yeah,
funniest.
yeah,
Like for the
That
uncle, we're
was
just
the
like,
best part of the movie.
what would happen if we turned the key match cut? He's dead.
yeah. I think like the first half of the movie is some of the funniest shit ever, and then the second half of the movie is kind of boring, honestly.
I mean, there's great moments and like
Yeah,
because it feels like they do kind of like for how long we spend the kid world, they kind of just shoeing the guy having a child storyline
Yeah.
into it. So it feels kind of random and it feels unresolved because I assume, we don't know because I assume they're gonna go back to the other like the guy who's gonna adopt him, like Frodo who's gonna adopt him.
Yeah.
But they never
Frodo?
resolve that.
He's my goat. Let me tell you something. Frodo, let me tell you what he does in this movie. He shows
In
up
one scene.
and he challenges the dude to all the marbles
all
for
the
an
what
arm
back?
wrestling
All
contest.
the what back?
all of the
Oh,
marbles
what's
in
that?
arm wrestling contest for the parental rights of this child, which is a gangster ass move.
I dropped all my marbles, guys. Hold on.
You lost your
You
marbles?
lost your
I'm
marbles?
losing my marbles.
He's white.
No.
That's the
Aiden
only-
has
I need to get a
dementia.
bag of marbles.
You don't have one? I do.
I need to get them.
I
But,
used to. I lost
But no,
them.
but like there are some funny moments like later because when the guy says, "Let's make like an egg and scramble," that's pretty funny.
That's just a white guy quote.
But I thought no, honestly,
I think Uri
it does
just
feel
finds
like
white
too
people amusing.
shoehorned in the child storyline for how long it is in the movie. Because if you're gonna do this, you gotta make the child part smaller and focus
Or
more.
make him like make him an interesting character. Like the funniest part about him is the part when he's like, "Guys, I have to shit. Whether or not you believe me."
It was really funny when he was just like, well, I found out I have a brother, or I found out I have an uncle, and the uncle's trying to kill me, so I don't know.
Yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
how
the brother is
that's how
also the funnier character of the two.
Oh my god, the brother is so funny.
Yeah. And so that's pretty fun. And I feel like
yeah.
in the deaths, I'm gonna say for a horror movie needs to have great deaths, and this movie had some pretty good deaths.
It had some pretty
Yeah.
good ones. Like all the deaths were good until they become very sparse.
Yeah.
the
Okay,
problem.
yeah. I think the saddest one was with the aunt, because she falls off the stairs and gets impaled by the Christmas tree ornaments. Like, you're like, oh, she's
They're
dead. This
not
is so
ornaments, they were fish hooks.
Fish
Oh,
hooks
fish
and
hooks.
bear traps.
Yeah.
As the clearly
Okay.
labeled bear trap box said.
Yeah.
sad. Okay, but like, you think she's dead there, but no, she survives it, then has to pick all of them out, and then she just dies anywhere.
No, because it's a big elaborate setup, Beck. Because then
It's
she
always
puts the
a bunch
and
of
then-
elaborate setups.
and then she puts the alcohol on her face, the hydrogen peroxide alcohol on her
to
face,
sterilize
and
it, and that's why it got
then-
lit on fire.
and that's why it gets lit on fire by the gas, because alcohol and the gas make big fire.
Yeah. I
And then-
also think
Yeah, then she explodes.
the skydiving plane death was really funny.
That was a good gag,
That's
but
because
I
like
don't.
this was after all the plane crashes, so I leaned over to my friend and said, "This is what happens when we don't have DEI."
Yeah.
I said average day in America post Trump 2025.
But what I'm seeing a lot of people hate on this movie because like they're saying it doesn't have a good second act, which I think is fair. Like it's not the best second act. But I'm seeing people overhate like too stupid. But I think if we can have more horror comedies like this, it would be great because like we haven't seen like a lot of great horror comedies, and this is like the first one in a while. I feel like it's a really good horror comedy. And
Yeah.
What about Presence?
is Presence a comedy back?
Beck.
Presence was not a comedy. No, it was just
I
dramatic.
thought he
it
just
wasn't
drank a lot of orange juice.
okay. That it was funny because we were making fun of it, but like,
But it's seen as dramatic in the movie.
it's dramatic. They aren't really like playing the sister getting raped for laughs, you know.
And you were? Sorry? I
Excuse
think I'm
me?
missing something. You were?
Beck, you demonetized us right now.
Oh my god.
But no, I thought it was just really fun and like in theater, just hearing all the laughs with it, just like enjoying a laugh in a theater for like a comedy is a great feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone
and-
like the first funeral scene, the entire audience was laughing really hard.
What was great was I went to an early preview that was just all Emerson students, so it was just all like VMA film people. It was not like completely packed theater, everyone laughing at all the jokes. It was a great environment.
Yeah, and I think it's a pretty good like I love that Adam Scott was like the beginning actor in the first scene of the movie. That was
Yeah.
great.
Oh yeah.
I think he's I thought his little bit was way funnier than like the main character.
Yeah.
I wish we'd seen more of him. I do think like
so the
trying to
dad
get
of
rid
the, of the emo kid, right? Did I get
No,
that
that
right?
No, that's
Oh.
the dad of the main kids.
The dad, the main guy.
But I thought he
Does
like
it-
had an affair, and then that made the
No,
the
'cause he
other
had a
kid that was
pilot's
trying to
hat.
steal the monkey.
Get a pilot's hat.
Oh, and wasn't the other guy a pilot?
No, it was a cop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's-
same difference.
but
No.
like pretty good deaths. The grossest when all the bees went to the kid's mouth.
Yeah.
That
That
was
one
I
was
think the
pretty nasty.
shotgun one was also really funny.
The
Like, just
shotgun
the
one was
shotgun
really good.
falling out, and then the woman's head just explodes.
Yeah.
The entire movie.
Do you keep
the-
any guns in the house? I don't think so. Clearly, elaborately gun trapped.
I also love so unrealistically, like the small electric air conditioner causes the corpse in the pool to just
Just
explode.
explode.
Well, that's
I
what
looked
my-
at the entire time before that. Aiden was saying, "Oh, somebody has to explode. Please
I
have
was
somebody explode."
my wish for the movie was that someone exploded in the funniest fashion, and when it happened, I was like, "Thank God."
Well, what the
Because
director
I
s- what the director said actually was that he wanted all the deaths in the movie to be like so impractical that it would never happen in real life because electricity and pool water they don't happen like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool. And so that explosion was awesome, Aiden.
Yeah.
But no, just like a pretty like fun, stupid movie, and like I really like. It's like not an amazing movie, but it's like a 3.5 for me.
I give
but
it 4.
Yeah.
It was
because you like the
insanely
time
funny.
skip.
I enjoyed the entire
You like the
time.
time
You
skip.
like the time jump.
He did like the time jump a lot. That was his favorite part of the movie.
I just think
You
the
got
time
me.
the time jump did actually like it got worse after it.
What do you guys think about the
Oh.
brothers' death? For a moment I thought like, oh, maybe they'll have like a positive reunion, but then
No, you knew for a fact that he was
No,
dead
It's
the
the
whole time.
monkey. There was
I-
no
I
way
just-
he wasn't dying to the monkey.
I just
Yeah.
wish that death was drawn out more. I wish that was a big Rube Goldberg setup that they all just sat and watched until it happened.
I really like the callback because in
It
the
is
beginning of the movie, when the kid is like, I want to kill my brother, he drops the bowling ball in his head, and then the kid finally dies by getting killed by the same bowling ball.
Yeah,
The brother
that
finally,
was
yeah.
also cool.
Yeah, I like how that was a very obvious parallel, and
Yeah.
not like
And just all the random deaths they had in that final scene, I thought a lot of them were just pretty funny. Like the kids being decapitated out of the school bus by the truck.
That was
Yeah,
not
was-
a good fine. That was not a good thing to leave it on.
yeah,
It was
I
not a
think
good thing to leave it on, but like as like a one-off kill, I thought that was fun.
Yeah, as a one-off kill, sure, but not as the final thing
Yeah.
you see in the movie.
because like nothing
just the
really gets
basic-
resolved in this movie. We don't hear about the adoption. The monkey's still monkeying around.
I
No,
really
they have the
want
monkey.
I
Yeah.
really want to read the Stephen King short book that it was based off of because I know for a fact it is nothing similar.
Okay, I
know
looked it
for a
up. It kind of follows a similar plot. Not really, but there is one thing. The first thing that Nicola said walking out of the theater was, "How does this affect the trout population?" Do you want to know how the book ends, Nicola?
How does the book end?
They throw the monkey in a lake and all the fish die.
So it did affect the trout population.
It
Is
did
the,
affect
is the
the
moral of
trout
the story.
population. It killed them all.
That's so sad, man.
It's really sad.
Well, that's the monkey, and this is the Celsius podcast. What's the movie recommendation?
Watch the monkey, I
The
guess.
Monkey?
Pull something random out of your ass, Nicola.
The monkey.
A monkey.
I'm gonna say Safe Sets, dying to work in the film industry. It talks about a bunch of deaths that happen in the film industry, and it's kind of interesting.
Okay, always use Celsius, and thanks for listening. You're all the
A
viewer who's watching this will be
monkey.
dead soon.
A
Or
monkey.
us, I don't know.
Brain aneurysm.
And that's where we're gonna leave it off.